Kroger Tender Ray Beef, no other beef so fresh can be so tender, presents Hearts in Harmony, transcribed. For a long time now, you've been looking forward to the day when you can enjoy wonderful Kroger Tender Ray Beef again. And we certainly hope that soon you'll be able to get all you want of those famous, fresh, and tender Kroger Tender Ray beefsteaks and roasts. Yes, it may be that in the near future, your wish will come true. But Kroger Tender Ray beef will continue to remain scarce for the immediate present, because the top grades of grain-fattened cattle used for this exclusive Kroger feature are so hard to get. And right there is one of the reasons why Kroger Tender Ray beef is always so fresh-tasting, so tender, so juicy. You see, only the very top grades of grain-fattened cattle are used for Kroger Tender Ray beef. Then it's made naturally tender in just 3 days by the famous Kroger Tender Ray method. And it's always fresh, because through Kroger's own Tender Ray method, there's no need for wasteful aging or loss of savory juices. That's why no other beef so fresh can be so tender. But until the day rolls around when you can get Kroger Tender Ray beef once more, keep this thought in mind. The beef that you do get at your neighborhood Kroger store is the very best beef that's available on the market today. And now, Hearts in Harmony. The man found unconscious behind the store that Freddie Lang and the New York gangster Bill Carver planned to rob is slowly regaining consciousness, and the police think the story he'll tell will send Freddie to prison. So far, no one knows who the man is, but Professor Rogers has a theory about it. He's saying to Penny,
"You say you saw Freddie with another man on River Street just before the robbery, Miss Gibbs.
I think I saw him with another man, Professor. But Freddie says he wasn't with anyone.
It's time you stop believing what Freddie tells you.
When it's time, I will stop, Professor. Not before.
Well, I know better than to try and talk you out of anything, so I won't. Let's just say he was with another man.
All right, we'll say it. But I won't believe it.
Well, you don't have to if you don't want to, but if he was with another man, I know who that man was.
Who?
The man they found unconscious behind the store.
What makes you think so?
Well, it's just a hunch. But it's what the police believe, too, and I think they're right.
So you think that Freddie and this man were going to rob the store together,
It would explain a lot of things.
Such as?
Well, how Freddie's ring was found behind the store, and why this man was found unconscious, and why Freddie got away.
I don't think it explains any of that.
Oh, but it does. Freddie and this man started to enter the store. Someone surprised them, knocked out the man, and then chased after Freddie. But Freddie outran him.
So, then this hero of your imagination just forgets all about what he's done, goes home to his wife and kiddies, and says he was delayed because he had to work late at the office. And, Professor, the whole idea is kind of silly.
Why? Because no one reported the incident to the police?
Well, that would be the natural thing to do.
Uh-huh. And I think the man, whoever he is, would have done it if he hadn't, well, maybe run into trouble himself.
What do you mean?
Well, I said Freddie got away because he outran his assailant. Maybe that's not so.
Freddie came home early that morning. He certainly didn't act as if he'd had any trouble.
No. As I was about to say, only this man who was found unconscious and the man who attacked Freddie and him had trouble. I think Freddie ran from this man for a while, then turned on him and, well...
Well, what?
One of two things. Threatened the man if he went to the police, or made sure the man couldn't go to the police.
Oh, no, Professor, you don't mean that
I mean just that, Miss Gibbs. Remember, I did a lot of police work before I resigned from the Bureau. I know what a man is capable of doing when he's cornered.
Oh, no, I just can't believe that
Freddie was cornered, Miss Gibbs. And he knew what would happen to him if he were caught. He has a suspended sentence hanging over his head as it is. Being caught robbing that store would have doubled his years in jail, maybe tripled them.
Well, if what you think really did happen, Maybe Freddie did threaten this man, but I'm sure he didn't do more.
Well, I'll tell you something then. The local police have sent out a statewide alarm for information on a missing person who might have wandered into this territory.
Why are they doing that?
Because they've checked in Rossville and no one's missing. So they think whoever caught Freddie and this man robbing the store might have been someone passing through. Someone who has since then failed to show up at his destination.
Oh, no, I won't believe that.
Well, I hope it's not true, too. But Captain Harlow told me this morning that scouts have been called together to search the woods, and the police are getting ready to drag the river for a body.
Professor Rogers, Freddie might lie and cheat and threaten and even steal. But he wouldn't kill anybody. Not even to save himself. Freddie's not that kind.
Miss Gibbs, your defense of Freddie is commendable. It's just too bad you're wasting it on someone who doesn't deserve it.
Maybe I am being a fool, Professor Rogers, but I think I'll stick with my feelings about Freddie until the facts show me I shouldn't. He explained about the ring of his they found beside the unconscious man. He claims he lost it.
That's an old one, Miss Gibbs. Look, you have a lot of faith in Freddie. He seems to be willing to talk to you. Would you like to go down and see him?
Yes, I'd like to, but Captain Harlow asked me to stay away from him.
He did? Why?
I don't know why. He didn't say. But I have my suspicions. He probably thinks that Freddie and I are in this thing together.
Now, that's nonsense if I ever heard it, Miss Gibbs. If anything, he's probably trying to protect you from Freddie's anger. Freddie undoubtedly believes you're responsible for his being in jail again. I think...
Oh, excuse me. There's someone at the door.
Oh, of course.
Hello, Penny.
Oh, Mother, come in, darling.
Thank you, dear. Are you alone?
No, Professor Rogers is here. Well, you remember him, don't you, Mother?
I most certainly do.
How are you this afternoon, Mrs. Billings?
How do you imagine I am, Professor Rogers, when my daughter's in trouble with the police, all because of that nephew of yours?
Well, I'm awfully sorry for all the trouble.
Being sorry doesn't help, Professor. The best thing you can do is to get that boy out of Rossville.
I realize that.
You
Mrs.
should have
Billings.
realized
Mother,
it long
please.
before.
What Freddie's done isn't the professor's fault.
Oh, isn't it? He's allowed that boy to impose
That's
on
not
you.
so. The professor's asked me many times to let him take Freddie somewhere else. I refused.
Oh, so you knew the boy had caused trouble, Professor.
No, Mrs. Billings. But I thought it was unfair for him to take up so much of your daughter's time and effort.
You thought so, but you did nothing about it. Professor, I hold you as responsible for Penny's difficulties as that nephew of yours.
Mother, please.
I know I'm being terribly rude, Penny. I've no right to talk this way to a guest of yours and in your house. But it's for your own good. And for yours, too, Professor. I hate to see either one of you involved in this boy's problems. He's not worth it.
I agree with you, Mrs. Billings. Your daughter and I were arguing about it when you came in.
Well, I scarcely see where there's anything to argue about. Penny, I'm going to insist that you give up all intentions of helping Freddie Lang. And now.
I'll decide when to do that, Mother.
No, Penny. You're going to do as I say, just this once.
No, Mother. Darling, you don't know all the facts.
I know enough to realize that you're not...
Forgive me for interrupting Miss Gibbs and Mrs. Billings, but, well, perhaps you'd rather talk this out alone.
If you don't mind, Professor Rogers.
Not at all.
No, Professor Rogers, please don't go just yet.
I think it'll be better if I do, Miss Gibbs. I'll see you again in a day or
No,
two.
Professor, wait.
I'm sorry, Miss Gibbs, but, well, my presence here has already caused you trouble enough. Goodbye.
Oh, Mother, you shouldn't have talked to him the way you did.
You'll help Freddie Lang no matter what I say?
No matter what you say, Mother.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Penny. Because nothing has ever come between us before this. I knew something would someday, but I never dreamed it'd be a worthless young tramp of a boy. Jed, you've got to do something about Penny and that Freddie Lang. You've just got to.
But, Grace, what can I do?
Just tell her she has to forget about him, that's all.
Oh, just as soon tell the child she's got to stop breathing. Now, let's not talk about it anymore.
Well, I'll talk about it until you do something about it.
But there's nothing I can do about it. And besides, I'm a little inclined to see Penny's viewpoint in regard to the boy.
Why, you don't. You can't.
But I do. I know the boy somewhat better than you do, Grace.
Jed.
Now, maybe he is a little different than the ordinary fella, but that's not his fault. It's the start he had. That's what's really against him.
Well, I know all about his background and upbringing, and I'll excuse him for a lot of things. But I will not have him ruining Penny's life.
He's not ruining her life.
Oh, no? Then what do you call what happened to Penny the other day? She was almost in jail.
I know, and I know she's in serious difficulty at the moment. But it'll all be straightened out, and we'll probably end up by being pretty proud of the child.
For what? For being arrested?
No, for having the vision to see that Freddie Lang is being falsely accused of any wrongdoing.
You believe the boy is innocent?
I do. I believe it because Penny believes it.
Jed Billings, sometimes I think I married a fool.
Oh, you do you? Well, now, maybe only a fool would marry a woman who's so narrow that
Oh, so that's what you think of me, is it?
No, wait a minute, Grace.
You didn't mean it. Then why did you say it?
Because I don't like being called a fool. I'm sorry, Grace.
It's too late to be sorry.
Oh, now, Grace, hold on a minute.
Why? So you can tell me again that only a fool would marry me?
No. All right. If that's the way you feel about it, maybe I am a fool. Hello.
Jed, this is Penny.
Oh, hello, child.
Jed, what's wrong?
Oh, your mother and I had a fight.
Oh, darling, I'm sorry. About Freddie?
Yeah.
Well, we had a fight about him, too, I'm afraid. You know, I think maybe we both owe him an apology.
No, we don't. I still say the boy's all right, and he'll prove it to us, too.
Well, if he intends to, he's starting to prove it in a strange way, Jed.
Yeah? Why? Well, what do you mean?
Professor Rogers just called me from the police station. Freddie's broken out of jail again.
So, Freddie has broken jail a second time. Does this prove his guilt? And is Freddie going to break up the marriage of Jed and Grace and turn Penny against her mother? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Hearts in Harmony. You know, wishes sometimes do have a way of coming true. And it's very possible that in the near future, you'll get your wish for the return of famous Kroger Tenderay beef. We hope that soon these wonderfully fresh and tender Kroger Tenderay beefsteaks and roasts will be plentiful. Until then, don't forget that Kroger will always bring you the very best beef on the market whenever it's available. And don't forget this either. Your Kroger store offers you a wonderful selection of fine meats, seafood with a rich ocean-fresh flavor, and real country-tasting poultry, and all at thrifty prices. So for the finest in foods, go to your neighborhood Kroger store.
A service of KIBMRadio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
You are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to narcotics detail. A band of dope peddlers launches a full-scale operation in your city. Their merchandise, marijuana. Their victims, high school students. Your job, get them.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Thursday, April 11th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of narcotics detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Captain Kearney. My name's Freddie. I was on the way back from R&I, and it was 10:25 a.m. when I got to Central Station. Narcotics detail.
Joe?
Hi. What'd you find out?
Talked to the coroner. He finished posting the body.
Yeah.
Cause of death, multiple fractures of the skull, internal injuries. Boy was 17 years old.
Yeah.
You check the car?
Yeah, the kid must have been doing at least 70 when he hit that street light. It's a real mess. The car was really wound around that pole.
We're going to have to dig up a fast answer somewhere. Lousy racket.
Well, there's only one way to burn it out. Find the big man and throw the book at him. Make him an example we'll never forget, huh?
You checked with Juvenile Bureau?
Yeah, the evidence has been booked with the property clerk. How about the boy's parents?
Mrs. Moore wasn't feeling too well. They drove her home. Father's still down the hall, Inspector Walker's office.
Can we talk to him now?
Yeah, he should be free by now. Let me check the book for
I already did. There's no calls.
Oh, okay.
Let's go. You know, there's only one thing fortunate about this whole thing.
What do you mean?
Well, the kid being alone when he cracked up would have been a slaughter if he had a car full of his friends with him.
It's still pretty grim.
How's the boy's father taking it?
Usual, pretty rough. He should be able to help some.
Yeah.
Mr. Moore?
Yes, Sergeant. Inspector asked me to wait here for you.
Yes, sir. This is my partner, Sergeant Friday. Mr. Moore, Joe.
Mr. Moore? Mr. Friday. I just don't understand it, Sergeant. I don't understand any of it. My boy Ken wasn't the type to go racing around like that in the car. He never took the car without my permission. I just don't know what got into it.
Had you noticed at all whether your boy was acting a little strange the last few weeks or so?
No. Of course, I only saw Ken in the morning, a few hours in the evening. I'm at the office all day. Why do you ask that?
Well, was he going out very often on school nights, or keeping odd or unusual hours?
He used to go to the library 3 or 4 nights a week to do his schoolwork. Got home about midnight a few times, and I warned him about that.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any way of knowing if he was really spending his nights at the library?
No, but I took his word for it. Ken didn't lie to me. What's this have to do with the auto accident, Sergeant? I don't think I understand.
The officers investigating the accident, sir. They checked over the car afterward.
What was it? Were the brakes bad? What'd they find?
Joe?
Yeah. So you see this small metal case? We found it in the front seat on the floor of the car.
What's that stuff inside? Did this belong to Ken?
Yes, sir. We think he was using it.
What for?
I don't know. It's marijuana. Men and women who traffic in narcotics all the way from the small-time peddler to the big wholesaler are rated among the lowest kind of criminal. One step lower, you find an even more vicious kind. Those who lure youngsters into the deadly trap of narcotics, who feed on the nickels and dimes by supplying their young victims with dope. The death of 17-year-old Kenneth Morrow was the second of its kind within 8 months. It seemed to stem from unidentified suspects who were making it their business to build a thriving marijuana trade among high school students. Thursday, 11 a.m. We continued to question the dead boy's father, Thomas Morrow, but he couldn't tell us anything further that might help. Friday, April 12th. We checked with the principal of the high school which the Morrow boy attended. We talked to the boy's teachers and checked his school record. His marks had been above average till about 3 months before, when they began to fall off for no apparent reason. We got a list of most of the boy's friends from his teachers, and we started checking them out. One was a 16-year-old blonde girl, Peggy Kane, supposedly Kenneth Morrow's girlfriend. We found her waiting outside the music room.
Yes, Ken and I went around together for a while. He was a real nice boy.
Did you see each other quite a bit, Peggy?
Oh, for about 5 or 6 months, yes, we got along fine. Just after Christmas was the last time I went out with him, and we double dated.
Mm-hmm. Did he seem all right to you then? I mean, did he act different at all?
Well, a little different, yes. Not silly, you know. He just wasn't like he used to be.
Well, how do you mean?
Well, he didn't talk the same. Ken was a real nice boy most of the time. I guess he started getting in with the wrong crowd. He began to swear, you know, bad talk, things like that.
When did all this start, Peggy? Do you remember?
Just before Christmas, I think. I'm not sure. Poor Ken.
Is there anything else you might have noticed?
I don't know. Ken used to be pretty good about his studies, and all of a sudden it seemed he just didn't care. Sometimes he'd come into the library. We used to study there. And he'd make a lot of noise. He just changed, that's all. For a while, we didn't see each other there anymore.
Well, why was that, Peggy?
We just didn't come down. I called his house a couple of times. His folks said he was at the library. I didn't say anything to him.
Mm-hmm. Well, did Ken have many friends here at school? Do you know that?
Not many, no.
I see. Well, those he did have, who would you say was closer to him?
Oh, gee, I don't know, Sergeant. There were half a dozen of them. Ken used to be with all of them.
No one boy in particular?
Well, Bob Lavelle, maybe. I saw Ken in Bob's car a few times.
Does Lavelle go to school here?
Yes, he's a senior. Ken used to work with Bob down in the cafeteria after school, but he got in a mix-up. He was fired.
Bob was fired?
No, Ken.
Oh.
He was rude to one of the ladies down there who does the cooking. Bob still works there.
Would he be at the cafeteria now, do you know?
Yes, I think so. The fountain's open till about 3:30.
And you think that this Bob Lavelle was about the closest friend that Ken had, huh?
I think so. The only one I know, anyway. Have you talked to Ken's folks?
Yeah, we have.
I feel so sorry for him. Gee, I think I have to go now, Sergeant. I have a chemistry class.
Just one more question, Peggy. Last time you went out with Ken on this double date, who was the other couple? Do you remember?
I don't remember their names. They were some kids I never saw before. Ken knew them. It wasn't much of a date.
Mm-hmm. Where did you go?
We started for the show, but Ken changed his mind. He wanted to go to the beach and park. He was acting funny, talking all the time, saying silly things. The other boy was the same way.
Oh, were they drinking?
No, I never saw Ken take a drink. I couldn't smell any liquor on his breath. I don't know. It was such a silly thing.
What's that?
Well, maybe it's just my imagination, but Ken and this other boy had a real terrible musty smell about them. I kidded them about it, and they said they'd been to a tea party. That's where they got it. They kept talking silly like that all evening.
I see. Was the musty smell all over the car or just on the board?
All over. Kind of made me sick, but they didn't seem to mind it.
Well, look, I'd like you to think real careful, Peggy. Have you ever come across that musty smell on anybody around the school here?
Yes, I have. A couple of times. Makes me sick. What is it?
Who did you notice it on, Peggy?
Bob Lavelle.
Ben and I went back to the principal's office and checked the record on Robert Lavelle. He was 18 years old, and he was scheduled to graduate in June. The registrar told us that there was a good chance that he wouldn't be graduated because his marks had been poor for the better part of the year. They dropped even lower during the present semester. Lavelle had played football the year before and had made third string on the all-city team. He was well liked by his teachers. For the last 2 years, he'd worked part-time at the school soda fountain. We went down to interview him.
Nice setup, huh?
Yeah.
Cafeteria, soda fountain. Wasn't like that in my day.
That must be the boy there behind the counter.
Oh, yeah.
Let's sit down.
Mm-hmm. How about that, Joe?
What's that?
That sign hanging up there. Idiot Special. 5 scoops of ice cream, marshmallow, bananas, chocolate, strawberry flavoring, whipped cream topping, maraschino cherries, chopped nuts, and onion?
No, you're reading over. That's on the hamburger sign there.
Oh.
Yeah? You want something?
Chocolate soda. Could you make it with vanilla ice cream, please?
Chocolate soda with vanilla cream.
Are you Bob Lavelle?
Yeah, that's right.
Police officers, Bob. We'd like to talk to you.
Oh, I'm pretty busy right now. Got to clean up. We close in a few minutes. I'll make you soda right away. You say chocolate?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we'll make it brief. Did you know Ken Morrow, Bob?
Oh, yeah. He used to work here.
Did you spend much time with him? Outside of school, I mean? Not much.
Went to a couple of shows together. That's about all. I'm kind of rushed now.
When was the last time that you saw him? You remember?
A week ago, I guess. Too bad about Ken.
How about the night he was in the accident? Did you see him then?
No, I didn't know him too well. He went around with a different crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, reach me a bag of those cashews, huh, Joe, on the card there?
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, thanks. Want some? Crisp?
No, thanks.
The nuts are a dime, officer.
Right there on the counter, Bob.
Oh, yeah. I got to get going as soon as I close. I have to get downtown.
We talked to some of Ken Morrow's friends around the school, Bob. They tell us that he used to drive around in your car with you quite a bit.
Just a couple of times around school.
And you hadn't been with him for about a week before the accident.
That's right. Just what I told you.
Mm-hmm.
You want a little whipped cream on that?
Yeah, Lil.
How about a cherry?
Good idea.
There you are.
Thank you. Too late to fix a hamburger?
Yeah, I really got to close up. It's getting a little late, officers. I'm going to have to close up right now.
Well, we'll make it fast. Did you notice anything different about the Morrow boy in the last few weeks? Anything peculiar at all?
No, he was the same as ever. I didn't notice anything.
All right, look, Bob, we're going to lay it out for you. Did you know he was using marijuana?
No, I didn't know anything about it.
You have any idea where he might have gotten it?
I wouldn't know that. Look, you mind if I lock up the counter now? I'll come around the other side.
Sure, go ahead.
I didn't know that about Ken, officer. I wouldn't know where he got the stuff. You sure he was using Mary?
Well, we found some in his car. We found some more in his locker upstairs.
That's tough. Anything more, officer? I got to hurry.
Well, it's just routine, Bob. We did the same with the other boys we talked to. We'd like to check your locker. You don't mind, do you?
I got to get downtown. I'm late now.
Your locker's just upstairs, isn't it? Won't take that long.
It's important to me. I got to get downtown.
We've got our car outside. We'll drive you down. We'll be down there in no time.
No, I've already got a ride. Can't you check it tomorrow?
Not going to take a minute, Bob. Now, let's go, huh?
All right. Say, I happen to remember I didn't bring my locker key today.
That's so?
Yeah. Come to think of it, I don't know where it is. I guess I lost it.
Well, they must have a pass key around here, don't they?
I don't think so.
Well, we'll ask at the office, huh?
You're putting me in a jam, officer. That's going to take time. I'm due downtown.
I'm sorry, Bob, but we got to check it.
I got my locker all jammed up with stuff. It'll take us an hour.
Office is down there, Joe.
Yeah, all right, let's go.
I don't know why you're picking on me. My locker's jammed. They can't get it open. Why are you picking on me?
Let's ask him here. Go ahead, Bob.
Close the door.
Yeah?
I got my key. I'll show you.
Robert Lavelle took us to his locker and opened it. Hidden inside one of his gym shoes, we found 4 sticks of medium-grade marijuana. We took them, put them in an envelope, and sealed it. On the way downtown, the boy told us that he'd been buying this stuff for about 6 months and reselling it to some of the students at the high school. Said that he paid 50 cents apiece for the sticks and sold them for 75. He was an occasional user himself. Before we turned him over to the juvenile officers, he told us that a man named Ray Jensen supplied him with the marijuana. Jensen's address was a trailer camp in the southwest part of Los Angeles. We drove out and checked with the operator of the camp. He pointed out Jensen's trailer at the rear of the camp.
That one, Joe? The blue and gray one?
Yeah, this is good right here.
Okay.
Looks like Jensen's doing well, huh?
Yeah, nice-looking fella. Just a minute.
Yeah? Police officer.
All right, open it up.
Get out of here.
Come
Get
on.
out.
Watch it, Joe.
All right, hold it, mister. Get out. Get out.
All right, Jensen.
That's good, Ben. I'll get him.
Yeah. All right, come on, get out.
What's the pitch, huh? Where's your warrant?
It's all over the floor, Jensen. Marijuana.
Who tipped? One of those lousy kids, huh? Which one?
You guess. You know enough of them.
You can't tap me for all that. I'm not the big guy.
All right, then who is?
I don't know. I'm only one of the mules.
Where do you get your stuff?
The big guy, the big tomato. That's what they call him.
Yeah?
Big man. Nobody sees him. I don't even know what he looks like. Neither do you.
You let us worry about that. Come on.
Big tomato. That's what they call him.
You won't get him. He's smart. You won't get him in 89 years.
Maybe not, but we'll get him.
You are listening to Dragnet, authentic stories of your police force in action. Now, here's an authentic report from Fatima Cigarettes.
1949. Fatima more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. 1950. Another record-breaking year, with more long cigarette smokers insisting on Fatima quality than ever before.
In 1951, enjoy Fatima quality yourself.
Yes, friends, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Quality of tobaccos. The finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild and superbly blended, to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality. Even to the appearance of the bright, clean, golden yellow package. Carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you,
ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Start enjoying Fatima quality yourself. Insist on Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes.
Friday, April the 12th, 7 p.m. We searched the trailer and a stakeout was placed on it, and then we took Ray Jensen downtown to the main jail where he was booked for suspicion of narcotics, a felony. The next day, Ben and I went back and questioned him. We got nowhere. The only thing he'd tell us was that the leader of the marijuana ring was unknown to him. The Big Tomato, that's all he could tell us. We went back and started rechecking leads furnished us by some of the high school boys who had purchased narcotics from Robert Lavelle. They all ended nowhere. Meantime, the flow of marijuana into the schools and into the hands of the teenage students continued. We'd no sooner choke off one source of supply when two more would turn up. We knew that there was only one real solution: find the gang leader and wipe out the entire supply and distribution setup. We stayed on it. Monday, April 22nd, Ben got a call from one of his informants that he had a lead on the source of marijuana on the east side of town. The informant's name was Willie Breck, a groundskeeper at a golf course near one of the city high schools. We drove out to talk to him. We located Breck by the clubhouse near the first tee.
On the tee now, Art Dory, Richmond, Virginia.
You remember my partner, don't you, Willie? Joe Fry?
Oh, yeah. Hi.
How are you, Willie?
Kind of busy today. Big tournament.
Yeah, quite a crowd you got here. It's a nice turnout.
Here you've been having trouble, huh? Fellow Mary in town?
Yeah, you think you can help us?
Maybe I can. Dirty business, huh? Working high school kids with that stuff. It's real dirty.
Any ideas, Willie?
Don't know how much of it's true. It's all from the grapevine downtown. The boss is somebody they call the Big Tomato. It's a funny one, huh?
Any idea who he is?
Couldn't say. He's getting lots of this stuff in, though. Usual feed line over from Mexico.
Mm-hmm. What else, Willie?
I hear there's more on the way. Don't know when, though. All for high school trade. Guess they figure they got a good business.
How'd they get the junk over, do you know?
No, but it's getting here. Most any kid can get some over on this side of town. Imagine that. Kids in their teens. Weed hits.
Yeah. How about this Big Tomato, Willie? No word at all?
Just one. Pretty thin.
Yeah.
There's a connection. Lives over on Hauser Boulevard. Got his number here somewhere. It's supposed to be the main connection for this tomato guy. Oh, yeah. There's his address. Third number there. It's a 6. His name is Tony Childs.
Mm-hmm. Is he supposed to handle all the stuff?
Most of it, I hear. Gets it all from the Big Tomato.
Isn't that about it?
That's it. Tony Childs. You got the address.
Many thanks, Willie. Anything comes up, you'll call, huh?
Sure thing.
How's the job out here?
Better than yours. I sure wouldn't want it. Working every day around joy poppers, mules, mainliners.
Well, somebody's got to do it, Willie.
Yeah, but not for me, Sergeant. Those dopesters are all lice. Selling junk to kids. Guess you met the lowest, huh?
No, not yet. We're looking for him. We went back to the office and checked the name and address of Tony Childs through R&I. No previous record. A stakeout was placed on his home and at his place of business. Childs himself was placed under 24-hour surveillance. A week passed. Nothing happened. Another week. Still nothing. There was no let-up in the supply of marijuana finding its way into the city and then into the schools. We couldn't see the beginnings of the racket, but we saw the end result. The percentage of juvenile users was still on the upswing. Wednesday, May 8th. We heard rumbles of another big marijuana buy in the offing. Either it failed to materialize or we missed it. Friday, May 10th. Ben and I took our turn shadowing the suspect, Tony Childs.
Can you see him from here, Joe?
Yeah. He's still in the barber shop. There's 2 guys with him.
Yeah. 4:10. We better check in, huh?
Yeah, I'll call in, huh?
Drugstore there. Must have a phone.
Yeah, all right. I'll be right back. Narcotics, please. Thank you. Yeah, Johnny, it's Joe Friday. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we got him paid. Okay, right away. Bye.
What have you got?
Tony Childs. They want him picked up right away.
How come?
Well, they just raided his place. They found 32 ounces of weed in his room. Supposed to have more on him.
Let's go.
Come on.
What do you think? Trouble?
Well, don't be surprised. Childs, like to talk to you.
What's that?
Police officers like to talk to you and your 2 friends here downtown.
Can't make it, copper. Flying to Vegas tonight. We want to see you downtown first. Luck don't push me, huh?
Nobody's pushing you, Childs. We want to see you downtown. Now, come on, let's go.
Look out, Joe, Ransom Sam. Watch it!
That's it. 3 of them. Okay.
I'll get him.
All right. All right, come on, you.
I'm glad this doesn't come up often. Where's the barber?
He ran outside. Rough one, huh?
Yeah. What's your hunch, Joe? Think one of these 3 is the big tomato?
I don't know. Let's ask him. A search of the barber shop failed to reveal the presence of any narcotics. Tony Childs and his 2 companions were found to have a dozen sticks of marijuana in their possession. They were treated for cuts and bruises at Georgia Street and then booked for suspicion of narcotics, a felony, at the main jail. 3 other men found at Childs' apartment at the time of the raid were also booked. We got nowhere questioning any of them. As usual, we had the small fry, but the ringleader, the big tomato, was still in the clear. Still free to hire somebody else to run the marijuana supply line into the high schools. 3 weeks passed. Together with Captain Kearney and Sergeant Barr, Ben and I rechecked our earlier leads. We ran down anything that even looked like it might be promising. Nothing panned out. Wednesday, June 5th, 5:30 p.m. We got a call from the main jail. Tony Childs wanted to talk to us. Ben and I went over to see him.
Charles?
I got something for you. Been playing the stooge long enough. If I'm good enough for jail, so's he.
All right, what do you got?
It's a big buy coming off. When you get him, tell him how long I've been in here.
What kind of a buy?
Mary, one of the biggest. It was set up before I got in here.
Where's the meat going to be?
Bruno Street, down by the train yards. I'll draw you a map. Setup's the same. Car pulls up and honks a couple of times, and an alley down there.
Who's handling the buy?
A big man. Don't waste any time.
When is it?
Tonight.
We went back to the office and met with Sergeants Barr and Jacobson. 8 p.m. Ben and I took up our positions on the stakeout along with the rest of the men. We had a clear view of the exact location where the buy was to be made. We waited. 10 p.m. 11 p.m. No one showed. Midnight came and went. 1:30 a.m. Still no sign. At 18 minutes to 2, we spotted a man carrying a shopping bag emerge from behind a row of freight cars near the end of the rail yard. He made his way across the street to the alley. He stood back in the shadows.
There's soon as the car gets in the alley, we pull up and block it, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Beck will do the same thing down at the other end.
Headlights coming in the alley.
Wait a minute.
No, they're going on through.
What's the time now?
4 minutes to 2.
We waited. 18 minutes passed. Still no sign of the car that, according to Childs, was supposed to be there for the big buy. We could still see the figure of a man with a shopping bag huddled in the alley. 3 a.m.
Joe.
Yeah?
Car down there in the alley.
Yeah. That's it. You want to start up?
Yep.
Just enough to block the alley.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. All right, come on, let's go. Come on. All right, kill your engine and get out of the car. Joe, look out! They can't go far. Come on. All right, let's get them out of there.
Yeah.
Come on.
There's 3 of them. Here's the guy with the shopping bag. All right, I got it. Christ knocked them cold.
Yeah.
That's one. Easy there. Yeah. Pull right over there, will you? That's it. Get his coat off of that. I got it.
Okay.
That's it. All 3 of them.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this, Joe. Found one of them in this guy's hand.
Tin can, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Full of marijuana. Did you look at the labels on those cans?
Yeah. Fancy solid packed tomatoes.
There he is. A big tomato.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On October 3rd, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 89, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. Friends, if you're a long cigarette smoker like I am, remember, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Now, believe me, this difference is mighty important. So important that you'll always remember the first pack of Fatimas that you buy. Fatima's fast-growing popularity backs me up on that. But look, you can prove it to yourself by getting a pack of Fatimas tomorrow. You'll find that they now cost the same as other long cigarettes, and your first pack will convince you to go right on smoking them. Join me and the new thousands who enjoy Fatima's extra mildness, Fatima's rich, better flavor and aroma. You'll discover what all we Fatima smokers know. In Fatima, the difference is quality.
John A. Stanson, alias the Big Tomato, along with his associates in the narcotic gang, was tried and convicted for violating the State Narcotic Act. He received sentences as prescribed by law and are now serving their terms in the state penitentiary.
The radio editors of the United States and Canada have named Dragnet the best radio program of its type for 1950. And Dragnet's Jack Webb, the most promising star of tomorrow.
In behalf of Dragnet, I'd like to thank the radio editors of the United States and Canada and the editors of Motion Picture Daily who conducted the voting in the 15th annual poll for Fame magazine.
You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Later, here's Spellbound with Joseph Cotton on Screen Directors on NBC.
Cinderella lost a shoe and so she got a maid. With lovely shoes a girl can't lose. In gallant pants she'll raid.
More miles to a gallon cap. Yes, gallon caps, the family shoe stores with the yellow fronts. The largest shoe chain in the West with stores from Canada to Mexico to serve the West. GALLENKAMPS, Gallon Caps present Pat Novak For Hire.
Sure. I'm Pat Novak For Hire. That's what the sign out in front of my office says. Pat Novak For Hire. Down on the waterfront in San Francisco, you always bite off more than you can chew. It's tough on your windpipe, but you don't go hungry. Down here, a lot of people figure it's better to be a fat guy in a graveyard than a thin guy in a stew. That way you can be sure of a tight fit. Oh, I rent boats and do anything else that makes a sound like money. It works out all right if your mother doesn't mind you coming home for Christmas in a box. I found that out Wednesday night about 9 o'clock. I closed the shop early and I came home to read. Well, it wasn't a bad book if you ever wanted to start a forest fire. It was one of those historical things, and the girl in it was just getting her second wind and her third man when the door to my apartment opened and the place began to get crowded. From where I sat, the crowd looked good. She sauntered in, moving slowly from side to side like 118 pounds of warm smoke. Her voice was all right, too. It reminded you of a furnace full of marshmallows.
Good evening.
Yeah, thanks for knocking.
I don't think you mind my coming in without warning.
No, I get the cabbage smell from next door the same way.
Does it pay to be that polite, Mr. Novak?
Saves you the trouble of saying please. What's on your mind?
That bottle in front of you. Will you pour me a drink?
No. You'll save dough if you look up a bartender.
All right. I came to use you instead of your whiskey anyway.
Talk.
My name is Lee Underwood. I'll give you $300 to do something for me. It'll only take an hour.
That's too much dough unless it's murder. And if it is murder, it's not enough dough.
Are you afraid?
I just don't like paid murder, I told you. When you get caught, the pain gets expensive.
If it were murder, I'd do it myself. Mr. Novak, I want you to frighten someone for me.
Why don't you hire a friend? Are they too pretty?
It's a man named Dixie Gillian. You'll find him in an office down on Folsom Street, at this address. I promise nothing will happen to you.
That's what they told Billy Kahn.
He'll be in this office until 11 tonight. I want you to go in and see him. Tell him you're from Adrian, and that he's to get out of town by tomorrow noon.
Suppose he wants to put it off.
He won't. Don't let him know who hired you. Just tell him Adrian said to leave.
Yeah. You better go home. For $300, I won't buy a tissue paper plot. Now tell me more or say goodbye.
There's not much more I can tell you, except there won't be any trouble. He's a rotten little beast, and I want him frightened badly.
Why?
He's been bothering my sister.
Why doesn't he bother you?
Because I bother back too fast. Do you want the $300, Mr. Novak?
Yeah, it's going to be a long winter. Put it on the table.
Good. And you'll need this, too.
No, you keep it. I don't want a gun.
It's empty, don't worry. See? No shells. It's perfectly safe.
Now, look, I got a nasty disposition. You can rent that for $300, but if you want more, find a gunsel or an off-duty copper with you.
I don't want you to be a gunsel. That's why I want you to use this gun. I know it's empty. If you use it on Dixie, he'll scare fast. It's just a way to save some breath.
All right, it's your $300.
You better go now.
Yeah. Wait till I get a coat. If your doorbell rings, don't play mouse.
Oh?
Because I may look you up.
Am I too young to ask why?
Because if anything goes wrong, I'll be around looking for you. And from there on, it won't be nice. I'll dirty you up like a locker room towel.
Relax, Patsy. You'll never learn to fall in love that way.
She handed me the gun and walked out of my apartment. Seeing her leave made you feel like Frank Buck losing an argument. She walked with a nice, easy swing of a satisfied leopard, and for a small leopard, she had pretty good spots, too. I put the gun in my overcoat pocket, and I went down to Folsom Street. The address was down near the bridge entrance, and the street was deserted except for a couple of winos near the corner trying to buy back 1926 at $1 a jug. I stopped in front of the place. It was a machinery company. I could see a light burning in the back. I began to walk through the place. It was so quiet you could hear a worm with whooping cough, and there were enough shadows around to keep a ghost happy for years. When I got to the office back in the corner, through the glass, I could see a man sitting at the desk. When I opened the door and walked in, he didn't seem surprised.
Come on in, mister.
The bet on noise.
Yeah?
That's right. You make too much for a thief and not enough for a customer. What do you want?
About 10 words if you're Dixie Gillian.
Go ahead.
You better look up a timetable.
What makes you that tough?
This.
Oh. Why, you look tougher with a gun. Does it make you talk faster?
I'm going to say it slow, mister. Pack up your rompers and get out.
Is that you talking or somebody else?
I'm just the guy with a gun. Adrian does the talking.
And he says get out.
That's right. You got the whole message now.
All right, you told me. So wander out and spend your dough.
I will.
You'll need part of it, though, because I'm going to give you an answer for Adrian. I'm going to take that gun away from you, mister. You can pick the pieces out of your head on the way home.
You better stand back or I'll share it with you.
You got your offer, mister. Let's see you make good.
Here, save your muscle,
Drop
fella.
that gun, will you?
Save your
Drop
muscle,
that gun.
fella. The gun's empty.
Somebody fooled us, mister.
Sometimes you can get a home run with a half swing. That's the way it was this time. He couldn't have made it with a prayer book in both hands. He slid down to the floor and trembled for a moment and then flattened out like a leaf in a pool of water. Just before he died, he grabbed his side as if he didn't like the way it hurt. And then he didn't care. I rolled him on his back and let him look at the ceiling. His eyes were open and he looked surprised, like a guy who didn't figure on a change in the weather. There was a scar that ran across his forehead and dug deep into his hairline. And he was lying there with a bunch of pink gum showing as if he was trying to pick up a few bucks with a toothpaste ad. I didn't have time to tell him how sorry I was, because if homicide caught me here, I'd have about as much chance as a canary in a basement full of cats. I started for the door. Right then, I knew I could start ordering birdseed. It was Hellman. And he walked over to have a look at the body.
Hello, Novak. The guy looks embarrassed.
Yeah, I guess he is, Hellman.
What's he doing dead?
Putting in a beef somewhere, I guess. He rates it.
He'll like you for that, Novak. How did it happen?
A team play. We worked it out together.
But you've got the gun.
That's right. I got the gun.
You feel like a bet?
No. Just keep stealing the old way.
You know how I feel, Novak?
Yeah, you feel flabby to anybody else, but to yourself, I suppose you feel good. Now, look. I walked in here with a gun. There was some quick fight talk, and I killed him, but it's still not a good rap.
I can get a long price on it for you, Novak.
I'll bet you can, Hellman. You can give me a bad deal, but part of the time it'll be from the other side of the deck.
Worse than that, Novak. It'll be all the time, and I want to watch you because I think you're going to be a crybaby.
I'm going to scream, if that's what you mean, Hellman. I'm going to scream about a gal that sent me in here with an empty gun.
That's a big hole for a cap pistol, Novak.
I got a last-minute curve. It was empty once.
Yeah. That's the only way they make a gun, Novak. I don't want you for an hour ago. I want you for this dead guy on the floor.
All right. I told you I didn't come in here to kill the guy. I don't know him. He may even be a good guy. I'm sorry he's dead.
All right, Novak. Just wait a few weeks and you can tell him personally.
Hellman had me up against the rail and he knew it. When we left there, he was wearing a big, toothy smile. It was big enough to sew on his ears. He called the coroner, and he told him to pick up the stiff, and then we rode downtown. He dropped the gun into ballistics, and he hauled me into his office. The reporters were there. He gave them the whole story and told them how to spell Hellman. After that, we wound up at the desk, and he booked me on suspicion of murder. The next hour and a half was the kind of stuff they don't write about in the paper. They call it interrogation. And when you're finished, you've been through a lot of tight spots, like a piece of bubble gum in a set of false teeth. About 11 o'clock, Hellman brought me into his office, and from there on, it happened kind of fast.
I just talked to the DA. He's going to streamline things for you.
Well, he's going to look funny, going to trial on a guy you can't identify.
I won't press you. I don't have to, Novak. I've got the only parley I need. You, the dead guy, and a big, fat murder gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hellman talking. Yeah, I know it was a .38. That crazy down in ballistics, I saw him standing over the dead guy. Well, they must have made a mistake, that's all. No, I don't want him in here. I don't want him in here. Hey, Tony. Tony,
You're getting pale. You need some more rouge, Hellman.
I got some bad news, Inspector.
Well, keep it, or you'll take more home to your wife. I'll talk to you later.
No, talk to him now, Hellman. If the bullet doesn't match the gun, talk to him now.
That's right, Inspector. A .38 bullet, but it won't match the gun you brought in.
It's got a match. I came in and found him standing there. He admits it.
It's a neat trick, then. If he fired the bullet out of that gun, he retooled it in midair.
I'm not that fast, Hellman. Get out of that chair so you'll have room to squirm.
You keep still, Novak.
Oh, I won't bother you. I'm going home.
Huh?
I'm walking out of your jail, Hellman. You got a broken-down .38 that won't fit anything but your thumbs. You can't hold me on that.
I found you over the body. I can hold you on suspicion of murder.
But it'll hurt tomorrow morning, Hellman. The papers will be down here for a follow-up. And you'll have to tell them what it looks like out in left field.
I'll handle them.
You can't afford to let them start laughing at you. People will get the idea it's your face.
You can save car fare if you stay right here. Because I'll have you back by noon tomorrow.
You're not that good, Hellman. You couldn't hold a moth with a searchlight. The town ought to thank you.
Eh?
Oh, it's a nice jail, Hellman, and with you around, it'll last for years.
We'll return to Pat Novak in a moment. You're going to put extra warmth and comfort in your Christmas wishes this year. How do I know? Well, because I've seen the Gallencamp Christmas gift slipper collection. You know, everybody's talking about it as the gayest, brightest idea on the gift shopping horizon. When you visit your neighborhood Gallencamp store, well, then you'll know why. There you'll find slippers for every member of the family. Soft and cuddly warm ski capers for Sis, handsome embroidered Chinese slippers for Mom, warm shearling-lined opera slippers for Brother, and good-looking, smooth kid opera slippers for Dad's fireside loafing. Yes, and there are appealingly soft and gorgeously colored shearling scuffs to delight the heart of any young lady from 16 to 60, and slippers for the little nippers. All are irresistibly comfortable, good-looking, and irresistibly Gallencamp price. Go to Gallencamp's, the store with the yellow front near you, to buy Christmas gift slippers that'll say Merry Christmas in a heartwarming way. Give more smiles with a Gallencamp slipper gift. And now back to Pat Novak.
When I walked out of headquarters, I had a nice mess to juggle. It was like trying to walk the baby on a floor full of marbles. If things didn't add up for Hellman, they weren't doing any better for me. I knew the gun I had went off. If it did, what happened to the bullet? And where did the other one come from? And why weren't there two shots? Oh, I couldn't put my finger on a thing, and nothing added up. It was like trying to follow a grain of rice in a Shanghai suburb. I looked up Lee Underwood's address, and I went by her apartment. The girl downstairs told me she worked at a nightclub out on the Bayshore Highway. Well, I had a couple of places to hit, so I looked up the only honest guy I know. An ex-doctor and a boozer by the name of Jocko Madigan. A good man until he began to figure the last drink in a bottle is just as easy to get as the first. Well, I found him in a little leather-trimmed sink on Powell Street. It was a grimy little hole where they washed the glasses once a week in stale beer, but Jocko was more at home than a vulture in Calcutta.
Patsy, you're just in time to celebrate my return to health. Something mild for Mr. Novak. A double stinger, perhaps.
No, forget it, Jocko. I got to talk to you.
Patsy, I've just passed through a crisis.
Yeah.
A few minutes ago, they set before me a glass with a woman's lipstick all around the rim.
All right, Jocko.
I took one gulp and looked at the glass, and in this dim light, I thought I was bleeding to death. It took them 10 minutes and 3 mirrors to calm me down.
Jocko, I'm in trouble. You got to help me.
No, but they washed the glass for me in ammonia. They must have left a little ammonia in the glass because the next drink had a very odd tang about it. I've had 3 more just like it, a sort of ammonia colony.
All right.
So far, they've been using domestic ammonia. When the imported stuff comes in, I may give up whiskey altogether.
Calm down, will you, Jocko? I got a bum shake tonight.
Yeah?
I either killed a guy or I thought I did.
Well, that uses up the alternatives. What are you doing now, taking a vote?
I got hired to scare a guy down on Folsom Street. 10 minutes later, the guy was dead.
Oh, Patsy, you take your work too seriously. Couldn't you have just scared him into a lingering illness instead of killing him?
One of the props was an empty gun. Only when the fight came, it drew bullets. Hellman walked in right after on a telephone tip.
Oh, what are you doing out of the electric chair?
Oh, the whole thing backfired down at headquarters. The bullet and the phony gun wouldn't match. Oh, Jocko, it doesn't add up. The call to Hellman's a tip-off. I was framed, but why wasn't I framed all the way?
Well, who is the dead man?
The guy with a falling blood count. His name was supposed to be Dixie Gillian, but there's no identification and no record on him.
Oh, you shouldn't have hired out as a gunsel.
I told you I didn't hire out as a gunsel. It was somebody else's idea.
Oh, you have no conscience, Patsy. Just a sort of soap opera rule of thumb you put into practice now and then, but no real conscience. You'd let a dying woman lie in the middle of the highway, unless her head was resting on a pile of raw bonds.
All right, Jocko, I'll cry with you later. I need help now.
What sort of help?
I want you to break into a girl's apartment.
Yes?
Don't worry, she won't be home.
Oh, is that supposed to be an incentive?
Here, it's at this address up on O'Farrell. Her name is Lee Underwood. She's the one who hired me.
Well, if the girl's not there, what am I supposed to find?
Anything that'll connect her with the dead man. He's a big guy with a scar.
That doesn't help much.
You can't miss. Go through the desk and the drawers. Pick up everything you can. Leave a message at my place, huh?
Oh, as soon as I finish this drink.
Hurry up, will you, Jocko? Leave the glass alone and get going.
Don't rush me.
Hurry up. The glass is empty anyway.
Yeah, that's what you thought about the gun, but the fellow got an awful jolt out of it. Good night, lover.
I went by a horse parlor on O'Farrell Street and borrowed a car from a guy. It was after midnight when I started down the Bayshore Highway, and about a half hour later I pulled up in front of the Cat's Paw. It was a long, rambling place on the left side of the road. No, there was no plan. It just followed the erosion line until they ran out of material. There was enough neon in front to light a main intersection in heaven. I asked a 50-year-old busboy, and he said Lee Underwood was back in her dressing room getting ready for the 1 o'clock show. When I walked in, she was sitting in front of a mirror, working on an upswept hairdo. If she swept it up any more, it was going to leave her head. I stood behind her, looking at the pink, fresh part of her neck that didn't show when her hair was down.
You seem fascinated, Patsy.
No. I just want to know where to break it.
Oh? Sit down on the footstool here next to me. That's it. I like to look down on people. Here, let me brush that strand of hair back. Or do you like it in your eye?
Brush it back so I can see your answers. Who's Dixie Gillian?
What difference does it make?
None to him and some to me. He's dead.
No, he couldn't be dead.
He'd like to believe that, too. I couldn't sell him that story about an empty gun.
He couldn't have been killed with that gun.
No?
No, I put in a blank, Patsy.
Somebody used a hard-working bullet because Dixie's dead.
There was no reason to kill him. I don't understand.
That makes you even with homicide, but they got a bigger team.
I don't understand it, Patsy.
Who's Dixie Gillian?
He was after some microfilm. I thought I could scare him away.
You better be ready to identify him because homicide stopped. Even the scar didn't help.
What scar?
Scar across his face. There's no record on him.
Oh, no, Patsy. Everything goes wrong. Everything you touch goes wrong. That's the wrong man, Patsy.
Yeah. Well, it's too late for a recount.
You've got to get to that body, Patsy. I don't know how, but some way you've got to get to him.
You look good, Lee. You'll make a nice picture.
Wait a minute, Dixie.
You don't need your coat. Come on.
I don't know how it happened, Dixie. I didn't mean it that way.
If you like it that way, all right. Bring your boyfriend, too.
No, don't let him, Patsy.
Oh, that gun's too big. I'm going with him. It was a short trip. He led us out of the dressing room and down a thin hall to the back door. On the way past the kitchen, you could smell onions and used grease, and that's all you noticed, except the sound of a jukebox somewhere out in front, and someone laughing in a loud, mirthless way. When we got to the door, it was raining outside. We walked about 40 feet, over near some trees where the dark was working overtime, and the gunsel made her stop. And that's where it happened. She's going to get wet, mister.
You'll have a little trouble yourself.
When I woke up, it was still raining, and I was lying on top of the mud like a stubborn seed. My wallet was gone, and the gunsel had ripped open my pockets. I stood up, and I walked over for a last look at Lee. The rain had washed the makeup off her face, and she looked small and tired as she lay there, like a broken doll that had been tossed out in the rain. I guess she was. I got to the car, and I drove back to town. I checked my place, but there was no word from Jocko, so I went up to Lee's apartment. When I opened the door, the room was dark, but I knew someone was on the floor. Either that or they'd varnished the floor with bourbon. I flipped on the light and bent over Jocko. Wake up, Jocko. Come on. All right, Jocko, wake up.
Oh, a little ammonia. I think, would bring me around.
What happened?
I was sacked, I guess.
Yeah, everybody's got the same act tonight.
Help me up.
All right, come on.
Where have you been?
I went down to meet the girl.
Huh? Where'd you meet her? In the swimming pool?
I've been in the rain all night. She's going to stay longer. What'd you find out?
The fellow with the scar is her husband.
Yeah?
There's a picture in the desk.
Are there any more pictures?
Oh, a few. Take a look.
Where, in here?
Yes.
Well.
Who is he?
Must be Dixie Gillian. He was down to pay off a debt tonight. She called him Dixie once.
There's a note with that name and address in the other drawer.
He's our boy. We better get up there.
Not if he's already killed 2 other people.
We can't wait for Hellman. If he gets away, I'm all through. I won't have a leg to stand on.
That's my point. When the other fellow gets through with us, we won't have much standing to do.
I felt better now. Gillian was the only guy left in the picture, so I dragged Jocko up to his place. It was an apartment on Post Street. The elevator operator took us to the 8th floor and said that Gillian had come in a few minutes before. There was no answer, so we tried the door and it was open. Jocko didn't like the idea.
Oh, Patsy, this is folly. Risking my life is one of the bravest things you do.
Keep still, Jocko. What are we supposed to do? The door was open, wasn't it?
So are a lot of graves, but I've never been tempted.
Hey, look at the furniture. There's been a fight here. I'll look in here. You check in the bedroom.
If I'm not right back, don't expect me at all.
Yeah.
Patsy, come here.
Yeah?
There's somebody on the fire escape.
Stand back here.
He's not moving. He was leaning that way when I first saw him.
I'll get on this side. You raise the window. Go easy, Jocko. Can you see him from there?
Raise it a little more. He's still leaning there. I can reach out.
Now watch yourself. If he's kidding, you'll lose an arm.
I've got him. Raise the window more.
Yeah.
Oh, Patsy, he's falling. Give me a hand.
Oh, here, let me through there.
Oh, it's too late. I can't hold him. He's falling. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He was probably dead anyway.
If he wasn't, that was a step in the right direction.
Oh, it was an easy night to die. 3 of them had checked out already, and there was still time to look for more. Jocko and I went downstairs to see the guy. He was lying face down in the alley, and as you looked at him, you got the funny feeling he belonged there. He didn't disturb the scene. He just fitted in, like a dirty, wet newspaper under a grandstand. There was a gun in his pocket, probably the same one that killed the girl, but there was no way of knowing. Jocko and I watched him for a moment, but your eyes begin to hurt when you see your only warm lead in a deep freeze. Well, it was past 2 when I got down to headquarters, and I looked up Hellman. I briefed him on the girl and the guy in the alley, and then I asked him if any microfilm had turned up on the first guy in the morgue. It was a waste of time. Hellman couldn't find a brass ring in a dead man's nose, but we went over to the morgue for another look. So far, it was working out like a crossword puzzle torn in half.
It's your time, Novak. I got more after tomorrow. You haven't.
The microfilm must be on the guy. 3 people have been killed for it, and I got roughed up just for laughs.
We searched the guy once. Here it is. Help me roll it out.
Yeah. Well. He sure got thin under that sheet, didn't he?
Wait a minute.
Oh, you run a good morgue, Hellman. What'll the papers say when they hear the stiff got up and walked out?
They got him in the wrong place or something. He didn't walk out.
He's gone, Hellman. Have you got an answer?
He's been moved, I tell you. The guy was dead, and I saw him put him here. He couldn't be walking around with a hole in the middle of his back.
Oh, I don't know, Hellman. You can do it with one on your head. Don't sell the guy short.
We'll return to Pat Novak in a moment.
Cinderella lost a shoe and so she got a mate. With lovely shoes a girl can't lose. In Gallon can't you wait?
What girl hasn't dreamed Cinderella dreams of her own and wished for a fairy godmother to make those dreams come true? Here's what the newest Cinderella, Marilyn Buford, Miss America, says.
The modern girl doesn't waste time dreaming. She makes her dreams come true, and she needs no fairy godmother to give her lovely shoes. She doesn't, that is, if she has discovered my favorite shoe store, Gallon Camp.
Yes, Marilyn, for gracefully lovely shoes, flattering and in the latest fashions, wise girls go to Gallon Camps. Gallon Camps are shoe-style leaders.
And so amazingly priced, a girl can afford to have all the shoes she needs.
And here's extra good news of a special Thanksgiving shoe sale. Yes, prices are actually going down on many of the up-to-the-minute shoe styles tomorrow at Gallon Camps. So shop this sale at the Gallon Camp store near you tomorrow to step assured into the exciting holiday activities ahead. Look lovely in Gallon Camps.
Cinderella lost a shoe and so she got a mate. With lovely shoes a girl can't lose. In Gallon can't you wait?
And now back to Pat Novak.
When Hellman found out the body was gone, he stood there and stared at the empty slab. And then he started looking around in a nervous way, like a man trying to find the sugar bowl at a restaurant counter. A few moments later, he turned and walked out of the morgue, and we were halfway downtown when it happened. It must have hit us at the same time, sharp and quick, like a piece of candy in a bad tooth. That guy back in the alley had come off that slab in the morgue. We got out to Dixie's place and we began to check. There was a phone operator downstairs, and she said Dixie had put through a call about 2 hours ago. Hellman checked the number, and it was the ticket office of a railroad. We got downtown, and we ran through the timetable. There was a train leaving the Oakland Mole in 40 minutes. Oh, it was an outside chance, but tonight that was the only kind for sale. We got down in time to slide on the last ferry over to the Mole. It was still dark out when the ferry pulled away from the slip and started across the bay. Over toward the Berkeley Hills, it was beginning to get light. The sky was the color of a bruised spot on a man's arm.
We'll get up to the pilot house and tell him not to dock until we've gone through all the passengers.
He doesn't have to be in on this one.
He'll check the train when he gets there.
Wait a minute. You don't have to check. There's your boy.
Where?
Up there. On the rail. Now, you better go easy. He's not a scale model.
Just walk quietly until we're behind him.
Yeah.
Turn around, mister. You'll get a better view.
Oh. Well, hello, Novak. How was the wind and the rain in your hair?
Meet Inspector Hellman. You better turn in your ticket.
Well, I hope you brought your muscle.
Grab it, Hellman.
That's what I'm trying to do.
All right, copper.
Watch it. I'm being pushed over the rail.
Yeah, I'm worried, Hellman.
Watch it, Novak. I'm going over. Novak!
That's one down, mister. Now for you.
Yeah. Well, I landed on the deck, and I watched him disappear in the dark. Halfway down, the guy turned in. I followed him down the ladder and along the main deck. He ducked into one of the engine spaces, and I started in to look for him. Oh, it didn't take long, because he turned out to be helpful.
You got the idea yet, Novak?
I'll come closer. Tell me then, huh?
Suit yourself, but I'll knock you down hard when you show.
Hey, watch that platform. You're backing into trouble.
Stay back there, Novak.
Watch out for that platform. You're backing into that engine. Look out.
No! No! Oh!
I kind of wound up last, huh?
Yeah. That's the way it looks. Did you get the microfilm?
Yeah. Oh, I got a big hurt. Does it show?
A little.
Yeah. It's been a long night, Novak, huh?
Yeah. But your worries are over. It's almost dawn.
I don't know if I can use it, but I'll give it to you.
Well, they fished Hellman out of an oil slick a few minutes later. It was the first time his hair ever looked good. Dixie Gillian lasted long enough to piece the story together for homicide. Lee Underwood was on the level. She knew her husband was carrying microfilm and was worried, so she hired me to scare off Gillian. It might have worked, too, because Adrian was too big for Gillian to argue with. But the first slip came when Lee's husband went by to make a deal with Dixie without telling her. Well, when I jumped him, Dixie was outside and figured it was a double cross. He didn't have time to figure it, but he killed him with a silencer when Lee's phony gun went off. Well, he spent the rest of the time looking for the microfilm. That's why Jocko got sapped and the girl got hers. And by that time, Dixie knew the microfilm was still on the dead man. The only way he could be sure was to get the body out of the morgue. He took it up to his apartment, and when he got the film, he planted the gun and put the body on the fire escape. It was safer that way. There was a 50-50 chance the police would miss it the first time around, and he'd have a fair lead. It almost worked out for him, except for that phone call. The microfilm? Well, it was in a capsule next to the roof of the guy's mouth. Yeah, so old it was new again. Well, Hellman asked only one question. In that fight, did I have anything to do with pushing him against the rail? I told him. Sometimes those ferry boats roll as much as 45 degrees.
Be sure to join us next Sunday evening and every Sunday, same time, same station, for radio's newest show, Pat Novak For Hire. And don't forget, the store with the yellow front is the Gallencamp Shoe Store. Gallencamp shoes are good shoes. There's something about them you'll like. Franklin Evans speaking. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
ladies and gentlemen. Fatima Cigarettes is proud to bring you its prize-winning radio program, winner of the Motion Picture Herald Fame Award. The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to Juvenile Bureau. You receive a complaint about an 8-year-old boy and his sister. A neighbor reports they've been going from door to door begging for food. Supposedly, the children are from well-to-do parents. Your job? Investigate. You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, April 27th. It was overcast in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of Juvenile Bureau. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Captain Kinsling. My name's Freddie. I was on the way back from communications, and it was 4:38 p.m. when I got to 1335 Georgia Street, second floor, room 14.
Hi, Joe. Been waiting long? I was just checking the record.
No, I just got here.
What's this thing all about?
Well, just what I told you on the phone. 7-year-old boy and his sister covering the neighborhood begging food. You ready to go?
Yeah, let me put this away first. Kid's supposed to be from a wealthy family, huh?
Well, wealthy enough to live in the best part of Bel Air, yeah.
Doesn't make much sense. Must be some kind of a gag, huh?
No, not according to the neighbor who called in.
Yeah?
She says the kids are half starved. Ben and I got in the car and drove out Sunset Boulevard to the Bel Air district. We pulled up in front of a large 2-story home near the corner of Brookline Avenue and Knightsbridge Drive. It was a white frame colonial mansion set back in the middle of well-landscaped lawns and gardens. The other homes in the neighborhood were just as large, $50,000 and up. It was the last place in the city that you'd expect to find neighborhood children begging food. 5:20 p.m. We went around to the rear entrance of the colonial mansion as we'd been instructed on the phone. We located the woman who'd called in the complaint, a Miss Jeanette Bejan. She was employed as laundress and cook by the owners of the house. She was busy fixing dinner.
They're from next door, officer. The children. As I explained on the phone, a boy about 7 years, a girl 5 years old, I guess.
Which side do they live on, Miss Bejan? The house on the corner?
No, the other side. Up here. The brown and white house. Just up the street next door.
Mm-hmm. Are there children there now? Do you know that?
No, but they were here this afternoon again. Here to the back door asking for something to eat. I don't understand it. Something must be wrong.
Well, have they been around often, Miss Bejan?
2 or 3 days, maybe 4 days. At first I thought they were fooling, but they were not. I gave them some cookies, sandwiches. They were very hungry. They ate them like they were starving. The little girl saved her cookies. She took them with her.
How about their parents? Are they at home?
Excuse me. What's that? There. That's better. No, I haven't seen the mother the last few days. I understand they are divorced. The mother, she lives there with the children. The father, I don't know.
Well, what's their name, do you know?
Kessler. Madame, the woman I work for. She says there are 3 children in the Kessler family. But I don't know. I have only seen the 2, the boy and the girl. I would go over and see what is wrong, but I do not know the Kessler. It is not my place. That's why I called you, officer.
All right, Miss Bejan. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, not at all, officer. You understand, I do not mind giving the children food. Well, I think only something is wrong if they do not get it at home.
Well, thank you very much for notifying us. We're going to check into it.
I'm just a little curious, Miss Bejan. What's that you're making?
This? Napoleon.
How's that?
Napoleon. You know, Napoleon pastry.
Oh, yeah. Sure smells good. Well, thanks again.
Oh, certainly, officer. If there is anything I can do, you will let me know?
Yes, ma'am, we will. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Those Swedish women make pretty good cooks, don't they?
I don't know. She sounded French to me.
Huh? Maybe so. Most good at cooking, anyhow.
Yeah, that brown and white house next door, that must be it, huh?
Well, that name, Kessler, they fairly prominent around town, society?
I don't know. There's quite a few of them. Could be. Any way you look at it, it's hard to figure, isn't it?
Kids have been at it for 4 days. If it's on the level, they really must be in a bind.
Garage door is open back there. No sign of a car.
Kids' bicycles, though.
Let's try the front door, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Guess you better try it again, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, sir?
Hello, son. Your name's Kessler, is that right?
Yes, I'm Richard. My mother's not home right now. Maybe you can come back tomorrow.
We're police officers, Richard. If you're not busy, we'd like to talk to you for a minute. Is that all right?
Yes, sir. That'd be all right. Would you come in, please?
Thank you. Richard Kessler was a blonde-haired, wiry boy, polite, well-mannered. He told us that he was 8 years old and that he attended the neighborhood grammar school. He showed us back to the kitchen where he was warming a can of soup that he borrowed from a neighbor. It was a large house, richly furnished, but it hadn't been cleaned for weeks. Dust was piled up thick on the furniture, and children's books and toys were scattered around the rooms along with scraps of dried bread, half-eaten. The house was cold and musty. On a small bar in the dining room, there were 3 half-filled cocktail glasses, a plate full of cigarette butts. Evidently, they'd been standing there for days. On the sink in the kitchen, there were a few pieces of stale bread and an open bottle of milk that had turned sour. Next to it were a half a dozen empty whiskey bottles. The Kessler boy was well-dressed, except for the shirt that he had on. It looked as if he'd been wearing it for a week.
What did you want to talk to me about, officer? I haven't done anything wrong.
Oh, we know that, son. We'd just like to find out how you've been getting along.
I've been getting along all right. 2 A's and 4 B's on my report card last month.
Mm-hmm. Where's your sister, Dick?
Judy, she's down the street. She'll be back in a minute.
How about your mother? Where's she?
She's out, too. She'll be back.
When do you expect her, son?
Pretty soon. She's coming back pretty soon.
And your sister, Judy, she's younger than you are, isn't she, Dick?
Yes. Judy's only 6. I'm 8.
Any other grown-ups live here with you besides your mother?
No. Mom takes care of us. She'll be back pretty soon.
We'd like to have you tell us the truth now, Dick. How long's she been gone?
I don't know. It's probably important. It's taken her a long time. You can come back tomorrow. She'll probably be here then.
When was the last time you saw her, son? Son, how about that?
A couple of days ago.
Well, this is Tuesday. You mean she left the house Sunday?
No, before that. Last Friday night she went out. Said she'd be back. I don't know.
Did your mother say where she was going, Dick?
No, her boyfriend was here. Larry. I don't know his last name. Mom went out with him to a party, I think. I don't know where. She'll be back all right.
Did you leave anyone to take care of?
No, we can take care of ourselves. Nobody's fixed the cooking, though. I don't know how yet. I'd better look at the soup on the stove.
I'll take care of it, son. Go ahead. Sit down.
Has your mother ever left you like this before, son?
Maybe once or twice. She never stayed away this long, though. I don't know.
What's the matter, Dick?
Well, Johnny, officer, my little brother. He hasn't eaten much for a while. Must be hungry by now. I was fixing the soup for him.
Yeah, well, where's Johnny?
He's upstairs in the nursery. He's been sick with a bad cold. Mom knew Johnny was sick. That's why I wondered. She hasn't come back yet. I don't think Johnny's feeling good.
Do you want to take supper for him, son?
Yeah, all right, if you want.
Ben, you want to come on?
Yeah.
How long has Johnny had this cold, Dick?
A couple of days before Friday, before Mom left.
Mm-hmm. How old is he?
Johnny's just a little kid. He won't be 2 years old until July. I've been wondering about him. Coughed a lot at first. Been giving him milk and cookies. That's what Judy and I had. I don't know.
Has the doctor been to see Johnny?
Oh, no, I thought of calling him. I didn't know the doctor's name. I was waiting until Mom got home. This is Johnny's room here.
Mm-hmm.
In the crib, officer. That's my brother Johnny.
Pretty cold in here.
Yeah, let's have a look. Hey, young fella.
Hi, Johnny. You hungry now?
Sure. Look at his eyes.
Yeah, I want to get to a phone, doctor, and ambulance. Tell him to hurry.
Right.
Oh, what's the matter, officer? What about Johnny's eyes?
You'll be all right, Dick.
Oh, he's been acting awful quiet, but hardly moved around at all. Most of the time he's jumping up and down his crib like anything.
Has anyone at all been in here to see him since Friday?
Yes, sir. My sister Judy and I. We changed his diapers and give him something to eat.
I see.
Gee, I sure wish Mom would get home. I'd like to talk to her.
Yeah, so would I. 5:48 p.m. We put in a call to the office for a policewoman. Then we got in touch with Lieutenant Lee Jones at the crime lab, and he sent out a man to photograph the condition of the Kessler home and the children. The doctor and the ambulance arrived, and little Johnny Kessler was taken to the general hospital in critical condition. The 22-month-old boy was in a coma. Richard Kessler and his sister Judy were taken to Georgia Street Juvenile Bureau and then transferred to Juvenile Hall and placed under protective custody, Section 700 Sub B, Welfare and Institution Code. The two of them were given a bath and something to eat. Judy Kessler was interrogated separately by a policewoman. Ben and I talked to the boy, Richard. After a few minutes, he broke down and admitted that his mother had gone off and left the three children alone on at least a half a dozen occasions. He told us his parents were divorced. He rarely saw his father, but his mother had had 2 or 3 boyfriends at the house during the past year. He also told us his mother drank quite a bit.
But she's never been gone this long before, Sergeant. Maybe she's out somewhere and has no way to get home.
We'll find her all right, son. Don't you worry about it.
Well, this boyfriend of your mother's, Dick, his first name was Larry. Is that all you can tell us?
Yes, sir. I don't know his last name. Are you going to keep us here all night, Judy and me?
Just for a day or so. They'll take good care of you, son.
Where'd you take Judy?
Well, she's just next door, Dick. You can see her in just a minute now.
And how about Johnny? I always take care of him. Pretty fussy around strangers.
Well, they've got him over at the hospital, Dick. They're going to take good care of him now. You can count on that.
I don't know, officer. I better see him. He might get awful fussy.
All right. We'll fix that up for you.
Do you have any relatives in Los Angeles, son? Aunts, uncles, anyone like that?
No, just my father, but I don't know where he lives. We had a nurse who used to take care of us, Mrs. McIntosh. She was swell. My mom fired her, though.
Oh, how'd that happen, do you know?
No, I'm not quite sure. Maybe my mom was drinking. Mrs. McIntosh got mad at her. Had a big fight, and Mom fired her.
Oh, now, this Mrs. McIntosh, you know where we can find her?
No, sir, I don't.
How about some of the other boyfriends that your mother had, Dick? Do you remember any of their names?
No, one of them was George something. I don't remember the other one.
Joe, give you a minute?
Yeah, Mac. You want to stay with the boy, huh, Dick?
Yeah. Hospital call. It's a lousy thing.
Well, what's that?
The Kessler boy, little Johnny.
Yeah?
He just died.
John Albert Kessler, white male American, age 22 months. All the pertinent facts and data would be listed on the crime report. And if and when the case was closed, the report would be filed away. Wouldn't be any different from 1,000 other dead body reports. Same size, same color. Same number up in the left-hand corner. In the course of 10 or 20 years on the job, a police officer sees a lot of them. Most of them he forgets. A few of them he never forgets. The next morning, the body was posted to the county morgue. It was found that the youngster had been suffering from malnutrition, but the cause of death was listed as a basal skull fracture. Homicide detail was notified. The search for the mother, Mrs. Jean Kessler, went on. We talked to her neighbors, all of her friends that we could locate. We checked out an address book that was found in Mrs. Kessler's effects at her home. We got out a broadcast and an APB. No luck. Thursday, April 29th.
How about the youngster's brother and sister, Ben? You think it could have happened that way? How do you mean? Well, we were taking care of the little fella. They might have had an accident with him. They're afraid to own up to it. I don't think so, Joe.
No, that's not very likely, Mac. We talked to him quite a bit last night. couple of pretty honest kids. Pretty sure that they wouldn't lie about something like that.
Where does that leave it, the mother? Good possibility. We know Mrs. Kessler drinks quite a bit. She could have lost patience with a little boy. More chance of an accident there.
I get it. Funeral Friday. Yeah, Bert. Where's that? Uh-huh. Right, thanks. Yeah? Woman answering Miss Kessler's description checked into the hotel down on South Hope last night.
Still registered?
Well, she checked out early this morning. They found a woman's sport coat in the room.
What about it?
Blood stains on it.
You are listening to Dragnet for the step-by-step solution to tonight's authentic case history. Here, step-by-step, are the actual reasons why Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette. Why in Fatima the difference is quality. Quality of tobaccos. The finest domestic and Turkish varieties. Extra mild and superbly blended to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma. Quality of manufacture. Smooth, round, perfect cigarettes. Rolled in the finest paper money can buy. Manufactured in the newest and most modern of all cigarette factories. Quality even to the appearance of the bright, clean, golden yellow package. Carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor. Compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Start enjoying Fatima quality yourself. Insist on Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all, long cigarettes.
Friday, April 30th. We were still without a lead as to the whereabouts of the missing mother, Mrs. Jean Kessler. The blood-stained coat, which had been found in the South Hope Street Hotel, was shown to Mrs. Kessler's friends and to her children, Richard and Judy. They identified it as belonging to the missing woman. Routine investigation of the hotel room failed to uncover any further leads. We got out a supplementary APB, and then we started rechecking with the Kessler woman's friends and acquaintances. Nothing. We rechecked a dozen taverns and cocktail lounges that she'd been known to frequent. No sign of her, no sign of her boyfriend. In rechecking her personal effects, we found a canceled check payable to their former nurse, Mrs. McIntyre. The endorsement carried her address. We checked it out. She'd moved. We traced it to the forwarding address. There we were told that she had a new job as a nursemaid with a wealthy family living in the Los Feliz district. We called there and talked to Mrs. McIntyre, and she told us that she was just leaving the house with the 3 children for an outing at the park and the zoo. We made arrangements to meet with her out there, 1:30 p.m. Ben and I located her at the head of the path leading through the main part of the Griffith Park Zoo.
I read about it in the paper, Sergeant, about Johnny. I didn't know you wanted to talk to me. I would have called in if I did.
We're still trying to locate the mother, Mrs. McIntosh. Can you help us out there, though?
No, I don't know. Have you asked at those places she used to go to all the time, where she used to drink?
Yes, ma'am, we have. They couldn't help her. Did you know any of Miss Kessler's boyfriends, the ones that had come to the house?
Yes, I knew all of them. Donald, don't you wander off now. Same for you, Patsy. You stay close.
The boy, Richard, he was telling us about one of the boyfriends, ma'am. A fellow named Larry.
Oh, yes. Donald, you heard what I said. You stay close. Yes, I knew Larry.
You remember what his last name was now?
Yes, Bartell. Some kind of an actor in the movies, I think.
Bartell. You know where he lives?
No, I think he had an apartment in Hollywood. I wouldn't know the address.
What kind of a man was this Bartell? I mean his temperament and things like that.
Well, I think he was kind of lazy. I think Mrs. Kessler was giving him money.
Mm-hmm. Did the two of them ever argue or have any fights?
All the time. He had a terrible temper.
Did he ever strike Miss Kessler?
Yes, I saw it happen several times. Not too close to the cage, Donald. Back a little.
How did this Bartell act toward the children, Mrs. McIntyre?
Different, I guess. They annoyed him sometimes.
Well, that was after that you had the argument with Miss Kessler?
Yes. It was about her drinking and the boyfriend and all the rest. I just got sick of it, and I told her what I thought. She didn't want to admit she was getting old, not caring for the children, pretending she was still in her 20s.
Well, do you have any idea where we might locate the father?
Well, they're divorced, you know. He's the head salesman for a lumber concern downtown. He inherited most of his money. I have the name of the company at home. You can have it if you like.
Yes, ma'am. We'd appreciate that.
You know, it's the children I feel sorry for.
Yes, ma'am.
3 beautiful children. And that poor little Johnny, I just can't understand it.
What's that?
How could anyone desert a helpless baby like that?
We'll ask his mother. Friday, 5 p.m. Mrs. McIntosh called us at the office and gave us the business address of the missing woman's ex-husband, Richard Lane Kessler. We called there, but they told us Kessler was away on a week's vacation. They had no idea where to contact him, but he was expected back in a few days. We called Central Casting and asked them to check their talent list for a bit player by the name of Larry Bartell. They had no such name listed. Saturday, 8 a.m. The Kessler children, Richard and Judy, remained in the custody of juvenile authorities. The search for their mother continued. All day Saturday, Ben and I ran down what few leads we had. They went nowhere. Checks to the morgue, the city hospitals, and the drunk tank at the main jail still failed to turn up the missing woman. We checked again at the different drinking places she used to patronize. No one had seen her. 5:30 p.m. we went back to the office.
A lot of mileage today.
Yeah, there's not much to show for it.
Not going to be much fun for those Kessler kids this Sunday.
Why? What do you mean?
First Sunday in May.
Huh?
Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Mac.
Hi. Got a piece of news for you.
Yes?
The Kessler woman's boyfriend, Larry Bartell.
What about him?
He's been located.
When he'd seen his name mentioned the previous night in the newspaper stories concerning the case, Larry Bartell had contacted the office to let us know that he didn't consider himself a fugitive. At least that was his story. He called just a few minutes before we got back to the office. He left word that he could be found at a Wilshire address all day Sunday. In the meantime, he'd be at the Spotlight Club, the club for theatrical people located in West Hollywood. 6:25 p.m. Ben and I located him at the club back in the billiards room. He was tall, dark-haired, dressed expensively.
I told the cop when I called in you weren't supposed to contact me. It was important.
That little Kessler boy's dead, Bartell. We think that's pretty important.
Well, I didn't know anything about that. You didn't have to interrupt me. That's an important man I was playing with. Now, what do you want to know?
Where's Miss Kessler?
Well, why ask me? I don't know.
You're a pretty good friend of hers. You were the last person seen with her.
Oh, it was a week ago. We went out to a party last Friday night. I haven't seen her since the following Monday. Last Monday. I'm through with her anyway.
What do you mean?
I just got sick of her, that's all. Pawing all over me, asking me to marry her. I just got sick of it. It wasn't worth it.
You accepted money from her?
Just to tide me over. She had plenty of it. Why not?
Where'd you last see her?
Keep your voices down. I wouldn't like this stuff to get around the club. Yeah. There's a hotel downtown on South Flower. I can give you the address.
Were you at another hotel with Miss Kessler last week?
Yeah, on South Hope, around 9th Street, I think. Oh, that's where you found a coat, huh?
You got an explanation for that?
Such thing? Sure. Crazy day. So I threw her, then she tried to hit me with a bottle. Cut herself. Boy, I tell you, this wasn't worth it, that's all.
I guess you can prove everything you're telling us, huh?
Of course I can prove it. It's the truth.
And what about the little boy? How'd that happen?
I didn't have anything to do with it. It wasn't my fault.
Well, how'd it happen?
Well, it was that Friday night just before we left the house. The old lady and I were downstairs having a few drinks. She put the little kid to bed, but he wouldn't stay there. He just getting up out of bed and running downstairs crying.
Yeah, go on.
She finally took the kid, gave him a good spanking, threw him back in bed. I think he hit his head in one of the course of the creek.
Why didn't you do something about it?
Well, I told her, but she said it was nothing. Didn't matter. Got a coat smart, that's all. Kids are all right in the rest.
You mean all the times you and Mrs. Kessler went out, you knew those children were being left all alone in that house?
Oh, what out of she's the mother, not me. Oh, look, I gotta get back. I kept that game waiting on.
No, just a minute. It's gonna wait a little longer. Come on. Larry Bartell was taken downtown and held for questioning on suspicion of 702 WIC, contributing to negligence of minors. He gave us the address of the hotel where he'd last seen Mrs. Kessler. Ben and I checked it out. It was a typical cheap downtown hotel with a bar opening off the lobby. The desk clerk told us a woman answering Mrs. Kessler's description was registered in a room on the second floor. They had an old-fashioned player piano going full volume in the bar. The sound followed us up the stairs.
Tenants here sure must like their music.
Yeah. That's the stairs, isn't it? 216?
Yeah.
We better try it.
Yeah. Let's have a look.
Who's there? Who is it?
You, Mrs. Jean Kessler?
What is it? Who are you?
Police officers would like to talk to you.
I haven't done anything.
but he won't me.
I want to talk to you about your children, Miss Kessler.
But I didn't do anything. Johnny was sick, that's all. I didn't do anything.
That's not what Bartell said.
Larry, have you seen him? Is he coming back to me?
You better get up, lady. Get your coat.
I gotta have Larry back. He's everything to me. I love him. Is he coming back?
You've been gone over a week. Aren't you a little worried about your children?
They're all right. I'm too young to spend my life on children. I need Larry. Where is he?
See if you can find a coat, will you, Ben?
Yeah, all right.
I've been drinking milk, Sid. I felt terrible.
Yeah.
I need Larry so bad. He's young like me. I love him. I gave him all my love. Gave him every bit of it.
Yeah, you gave him too much.
What?
You didn't have any left for your kids.
The story you've just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On July 2nd, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 87, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thanks, sir. Friends, if you're with us week to week, you've heard me say, in Fatima, the difference is quality. It's a difference that you can prove just by buying a pack and smoking them. You'll find Fatima's extra mild, with a rich, better flavor and aroma. Stop in at the store in the corner and buy a pack of Fatimas the first chance you get. You'll find in Fatimas, the difference is quality. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take a moment to thank all of you for your very fine response to our program, Dragnet. Since the first show went on the air about a year and a half ago, your cards and letters have been a constant source of encouragement and guidance. In the field of radio presentations, we felt that we were attempting something a little different, and we were not altogether sure that it would meet with your approval. Possibly, we were sure that our approach to this type of presentation was a sound one, but the final approval had to rest with you. If we may judge by your response, you've placed Dragnet high among the programs that you enjoy most, and for this we're indeed grateful. We've tried to bring you, first of all, an adult program, worthy of the 30 minutes that you spend with us each week. We've tried to bring you an honest and authoritative report on the work of your police force. We've tried to bring before you documented police cases that were informative as well as entertaining. In forthcoming weeks, we sincerely hope that Dragnet remains one of your favorite shows. Your letters have been read by all members of the Dragnet production staff. So if you like to listen to Dragnet, it's because you, our listeners, have helped to guide us in presenting the kind of entertainment that you want. And for this, our thanks.
Mrs. Jean Kessler was filed on and found guilty in Superior Court, charge of manslaughter. She was sentenced to 1 year in the county jail and deprived of the custody of her children. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Now stay tuned for Counter Spy. Then it's Screen Directors Playhouse on N.
There's a lot of guys in L.A. who wear black suits. Ushers, waiters, floor walkers, and the crew down at the coroner's office. Petticini wore a black suit, but he didn't do any of those things. He had a different angle. I found that out the first time I saw him. A big guy with a lot of black hair and a pair of hands he could have rented out to a shovel company. It all started last Thursday in a one-arm joint on 6th Street. I was working on a cup of coffee that would have been Exhibit A for the Restaurant Commission when the skinny guy who runs the place got ambitious.
Hey, Bud. I'm going to go get your coffee at Backlaw, maybe, huh?
I'll chew on the coffee a while.
I made it myself. I got a special recipe. It's a secret.
Save it for the next war. We'll need some weapons.
Oh, Try to please the public, and what do you get? Nothing but talk. Everybody gotta have an answer. I'm gonna be a big man in this business someday, and I'm
Sure. Your phone's ringing. Maybe it's J.P. Morgan.
Well, your wise guy or something, huh?
So it's only your girl.
I ain't got one. A girl ties you down, you can't get nowhere. It's a bad business. Hello, you Bear Claw Coffee Shop, you who? I'll ask him. Hey, Bud, is your name Regan?
Who wants to know?
A guy named Lion.
Hang up on him.
Bad business, hanging up on people. Here.
Okay. Yeah?
Oh, Jeffrey, I'm glad I finally located you. I know this is your day off.
I'm busy. So long.
Now, wait. Don't hang up. I wouldn't think of interfering with anything you have planned today. I just thought I might be able to help you relax, relieve the tension.
What's in it for you?
Oh, now, Jeffrey. I intend to watch the workouts at the Lacey Street Gym today, but I can't make it myself. Now, if you care to go, just use my name at the main gate, and they'll let you right in.
Who's the client?
Client? Client? I didn't say anything about a client. Of course, if you want someone to talk to, someone who knows the ins and outs of the fine, manly sport of boxing, there's a chap named Pedersini. Be sure to look him up. Give him my best regards. Old friend, roomed together in college.
What college?
What college? Well, at the moment it escapes me.
So did I. So long.
Now, wait. No, the truth is, Jeffrey, I don't really know this Pedersini guy at all. He retained us. But I thought you could enjoy yourself at the gym. Meet Pedersini, talk to him, find out what he wants. Then the first thing tomorrow, you can start right in, show him the kind of service international.
That's bad business, you're hanging up on people.
Oh, shut up.
Every time I get hot under the collar, I always sit down and drink myself a cup of coffee. You want some?
I'm not that hot.
Oh. Is that going to be for you, that him calling back, huh?
Try hello. He'll pick it up from there.
Hey, where you going? What'll I say to him?
Try hello. He'll pick it up from there.
That's what you just said.
Yeah. I had my choice of talking to the Lion again or going straight out to the Lacey Street Gym and talking to a guy named Pedersini. I already knew what the Lion had to say. So I drove out Sunset past Alvarado, found it in the middle of the block. Big pile of cement that might have been a soundstage once. I drifted through the gate and started up the ramp. That's when the little guy wearing a hat he could have used for a snoot stuck out a hand.
Price is 50 cents. 50 cents to what?
I work for Anthony J. Lyon. He said to use his name.
All right, you used it. 4 bits.
You always this nice?
I won first prize this week.
You must have cheated.
Look, the name's Joey Arch. Used to fight bantamweight. Now, you're tempting me, and it'll be an assault with a deadly weapon if I hit you.
I'll wire for help.
Oh, cut it out. All the time answers.
Look, I came here to see a guy named Pedersini.
And Joe is making it tough for you, is that it?
Huh?
My name's Pedersini. You looking for me?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Lion sent me.
You be Regan? Joey apologized, don't you, Joey?
Yeah, but this guy... Oh. Okay, Regan. I think I'm still fighting something.
Thanks for coming. Look, I've been working out with the boys. I want to get out of these clothes and catch a shower. My office is upstairs. I'll be right up. Make yourself at home.
It wasn't much of an office. A couple of rooms with a connecting wastebasket. Figured Pedersini wasn't going to retire from what he made out of the boxing business. I was just finishing my cigarette when he walked in. This time he wasn't wearing the sweatsuit. He was wearing a black one. But he skipped the white carnation. I didn't figure to do much for that white collar he was wearing backwards. Father Pedersini?
Yes, that's right.
I didn't know you were a priest down there.
Well, you can't punch a bag wearing a cassock. You're surprised, aren't you? I'm 38 years old, Regan, and I get surprised every day.
There's no other Pedersini around here.
No, I'm the one you're supposed to see.
Well, maybe the Lion didn't know you were a priest either.
Well, come to think of it, I may not have mentioned it when I phoned him.
Yeah, I thought so. Well, Father, we'd be glad to help, but I'm not sure you have anything to be in our line.
This is in your line.
Oh? All right, Father, what can I do for you?
Find Davy Lang. Do you know him?
Middleweight?
Mm-hmm.
One who topped Al Shummet 2 nights ago.
That's him.
A guy like Davy'd be hard to lose.
Not so very. You know anything about him?
Well, I've seen him fight. He's a comer. Turned pro a couple of years ago, that's all.
I'll tell you the rest. He's got a good right hand, and he keeps in training. He's one of my boys, Regan, and I want him back.
Well, a guy like Davy can take care of himself.
Nobody can take care of himself. Davy's on parole, Regan. He made a mistake once.
And you don't want him to make another one?
He's due to report at the parole office before Saturday.
Well, what's he waiting for? An engraved invitation?
I don't know, Regan. I haven't talked to him lately.
Oh, he's disappeared.
Yeah.
They gave him a rule book when they let him loose. He knows what he's doing.
And you and I both know what it means if he antagonizes those people. It'd be rotten if they sent him back up. Rotten.
You can only do one job, Father.
I'll do a dozen if I have to. That's why I wear this collar. Have you got a light?
Yeah.
Thanks. You know, I was raised on this street, Regan. I've known a lot of guys like Davy Lang, kids who make little mistakes that turned into big mistakes.
You figure Davy Lang hasn't made that big one yet?
I figure David Lang isn't going to make that big one. That's why I sent for you, Regan. Here, here's a check. If it takes more, I'll get it.
No, thanks.
You won't help me?
Well, I didn't say that. When did he turn up missing, Father?
Right after his bout last Tuesday night. I'm his manager and trainer till he gets going. He dropped Al Shummer in the fourth. 10 minutes later, I went to his dressing room and he was gone. I haven't seen him since.
Anybody else see him? Doorman, cab driver?
No. I thought he'd call me, but he hasn't. I've been over to his place 3 times, no answer.
What do his people say?
His parents dead. He lives alone at this address. Here. You've seen him in the ring. You know what he looks like.
Yeah. Does he have a girl?
I don't know.
Anything else that'd help?
Yes. Davy's a good boy.
I told you I'll do the job, Father.
You'll do it better if you believe in him.
Suppose it turned out different.
Suppose I tell you about a middleweight named Ignatius Loyola.
Look, nobody's going to put Davy's picture on a church window.
You don't have to be a saint to make the finals.
Even the Bible says sin's here to stay.
And that's why people like me will always have a job to do.
All right, Father. I'll let you know when I have something.
Thanks, Regan. Oh, Regan.
Yeah?
You didn't ask me why I didn't call in the police.
I didn't have to. Davy's not in violation until Saturday.
Crosby did it. I don't know why I couldn't.
I left him standing there blowing smoke rings. A kind of smile came on his face, like maybe he just got some inside dope and something real big. But I didn't feel like smiling. I climbed in my car and drove down to the Missing Persons Bureau. They hadn't picked up anybody who looked like Davy Lang. Then I went through the dead and unclaimed records over at the city morgue. Nothing there. Lincoln Heights and City Jail, all the hospitals turned up the same. Nothing. It was after 7 when I got to the address Father Petticini had given me. A red brick apartment house in South Marathon. Davy's place was on the 2nd floor. I pulled out a ring of skeletons and won my letter on the 3rd key. I didn't expect to find anything. I was wrong. A blue suit with a scar across his face was standing in the middle of the room. It was dark in there, but I could still see that .45. Then I began to feel nervous, like a hula dancer in a forest fire.
All right, Nosy, close the door. Walk over to that wall. That's right. Okay. Now, tell me you're the landlord. Milkman? Friend of Davy's? That way, huh? Well,
Listen, Bud.
Don't you guys ever learn?
My knees folded like an army trot. Began to see pinwheels all over the place. He knelt down beside me and went through my pockets. I heard him grunt when he found my gun. Then he lit a match to read my billfold. He didn't like what he found there either.
Your name is Regan, and you're gum healing for Davy Lang. Who sent you?
Oh.
I ask you one question. Who sent you, Regan? Was it Mel Lawrence? Did she hire you? No. She'd have more brains than that. That priest, wasn't it? Davy ain't got no family. It was a sky pilot who hired you, wasn't it? Petticini. Yeah. Petticini. Why didn't I think of that, huh? Petticini.
It was a good show, but I didn't catch the last act. I did remember the advance publicity. Any kind of preview tell you Davy Lang hadn't just run out on a priest and parole board. There was a lot more I had to find out, and it figured Father Petticini wasn't going to like the way it wound up. It was an ice age later. I rolled over and found out I had some legs. Then I found a bottle of scotch on top of the stove, and that helped a lot. I tugged on it while I went around the place. There were 3 suits and an empty suitcase in the closet and some shirts and things in one of the drawers. Wherever Davy'd gone, he was traveling light. I was trying to fit in the guy with the scar when I remembered him talking about a girl named Mel Lawrence. I polished off the scotch and tried the telephone book. I was lucky. It said Mel Lawrence lived over on Melrose. I was still rocking on my heels when I rang her bell. Bell? When I saw that blonde hair, I began to feel better. She stood there and looked at me a while like I was breathing some air I shouldn't. And she turned halfway around and gave me a profile.
I wasn't expecting company, or I'd change clothes.
You got something better in there?
Do you like the way I wear my hair?
Fits your face.
How about my face? Do you like it?
It's nice.
I'm looking for a new boyfriend. Mine ran out on me. Come on in. I keep my scotch over there and my bourbon over there. I'm a model. I work 3 or 4 days a week, and the rest of the time, I don't have anything to do.
Well, if things are that good, why'd your boyfriend leave?
You tell me.
Maybe I can help.
Sure you can. Just put your arms around me and kiss me.
My name's not Davy.
Shut up and kiss me.
Well, that wasn't the trouble.
Now, tell me I'm pretty.
You're pretty.
Tell me you like me a lot.
I like you a lot.
Tell me you like to kiss me. Tell me that Davy used to tell me. Tell me all that, and then tell me why he didn't pick me up. Why'd he clear out? Where's he gone?
Sit down.
What's the matter with me? What have I got that other girls haven't got?
I said sit down.
You hit me.
It's time to talk sense.
Who are you anyway?
My name's Regan. I'm looking for Davy Lang.
What do you want with him?
Father Pettigini hired me to find him.
Father Pettigini. He wants to make sure Davy keeps his nose clean.
He didn't mention your name.
I never met him. Davy's told me a lot about him. Only Davy isn't around anymore to tell me about him now. Davy ran out on him. He ran out on me.
Maybe he didn't.
Oh, yes, he did. When Davy goes someplace, he just goes. That's all. You aren't going to find him.
A blue suit with a 45 and a scar said different.
I met him
I
tonight.
met him tonight over at Davy's place. You know Davy's playmates. Who is he?
I don't know a man with a scar.
Who is he?
I don't know. I don't know.
You aren't helping Davy.
I'm not Pettigini. I couldn't help anyone. Go on, Regan. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't feel very good. I don't feel very good at all.
Well, I knew she had some more to say, but I knew she wasn't going to say it then. So I left her sitting there and got in my car and drove home. I wanted to think. I wanted to get one good reason that said Davy Lang wasn't playing on the wrong team. When the lion's around, you don't do any thinking. The lion was around.
Jeffrey, I'm glad you got home. I wanted to talk to you about Pettigini. He's a priest, isn't he?
Yeah, why?
Run any expenses yet?
No.
Good, then we'll drop it. I'll phone him first thing in the morning, recommend another agency. I've been thinking...
You've been thinking wrong. We're staying with this one.
Now, see here. I'm the president of International Detective Bureau, and I can't collect a bonus from a member of the clergy. It wouldn't seem right.
You better not try.
Oh, I wouldn't. Those men take the vow of poverty. But we haven't taken any vow of poverty, and the agency has expenses.
Now, get this. We're hired to find Davy Lang, and we're going to find him.
Why? Why should we?
Because everything doesn't add up to a $.
No? What doesn't?
A priest named Pettigini. A guy named Davy Lang who's got a date with a parole board.
Now, wait a minute, Regan, wait. You've been touched by this thing.
Get out of here.
There's something in all this has got to you. The humanity of the thing. Oh, I can see it now, Regan. Your picture on the front page. Me standing beside you. Brotherhood.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, don't shout. The agency held up to public acclaim. Perhaps the paper starts a fund to repay us for our humble efforts.
Out.
Jeffrey, I haven't finished. You can't shove me out the door that way. Jeffrey, let me in. What's the meaning of this?
But I didn't tell him. I was thinking of Davy Lang in a blue suit with a scar, and Father Pettigini in a blonde who had a lot of tears. It was all out of focus, like a 10-cent movie. Blue suit sounded like he knew Davy, but I didn't like the way he'd said it. I was trying to figure why Davy'd run, and that's when I got on the phone and checked a bookmaker I know on Main Street.
Hiya, baby. What's up?
Davy Lang. Al Schummer last Tuesday.
Lang bounced him in the fourth.
Well, how did it figure before the fight?
Let's see. Lang was favored. Plenty of 8 to 5 around town.
More than usual?
Yeah. It's a real coarse coin on that one. Anything wrong, baby?
Yeah.
What?
It came out right.
Huh? Hey, I don't get it.
Neither do I. No, I won't throw that one away. But an hour later, it started to work through. I figured that Al Shummer, the other fighter, might be able to fill in some bald spots. I got his address from the Times sports desk and went down to his hotel, a place on Soda Street. But Al Shummer was through answering questions. He was lying on the floor when I got there. A knife the size of a baseball bat was sticking out the front of him. And he had company. Father Pettacini, picking up where that knife left off.
You'd better phone the police, Regan.
Who did it? When did it happen? What?
Regan, just call the police, that's all. All right, I'll do it.
But, Father...
I know enough law for this one, Regan. I'm suspect number one.
This is CBS, and you are listening to the story of the Man in Black. Tonight's adventure with Jeff Regan, Investigator. Now, here's a special word for those of you who are interested in setting up a retirement fund. One that will permit you to have some of the good things of life before you're too old to enjoy them. I'll give you her name later. Are you satisfied with what you've been able to save so far? It's not easy to save these days, but here's a way you can do it. Start now and save before you spend by putting your savings on an automatic basis. Join the payroll savings plan where you work and invest in United States savings bonds. Under this plan, your firm sets aside whatever sum you name from each paycheck and uses the money to buy savings bonds for you. And the bonds keep growing in value, paying you back $4 for every $3 you save in just 10 years. Buy United States bonds. An investment in bonds is an investment in the future of your country. Buy United States bonds and keep them. And now back to tonight's story of the Man in Black and Jeff Regan, Investigator. Had to do that.
When I walked in that hotel room and found Father Pettacini standing over what was left of Al Shummer, it didn't take 20/20 vision to see Davy Lang was running hard. And Pettacini was blocking for him. Well, I phoned homicide, and they showed up 10 minutes later. Sanducci was handling it. He changed 8 shades when he saw who he had to ask questions. But Sanducci's a cop. Took him 13 years to get that double-breasted suit. And he started in.
All right, all of you. Clear out, beat it. We'll dress it up later. Well, Father, you know what I got to do?
We all have our jobs, Lieutenant.
I'm going to ask you first, Regan.
Well, I came over to see Al Shummer.
And he found me beside the body. I was administering extreme unction.
He was still alive?
I wasn't sure, in a case like that.
I know, Father. What business you got with Al Shummer?
He called me, asked me to come.
Why?
I don't know. I found him this way.
Regan, how about you?
Oh, I wanted to talk to him.
About what?
Fight.
A fight, huh? That's all there is to it. Tu sei un grande bugiardo.
I speak Italian, too. Se tu vuoi sapere qualunque, allora domande da me.
Se tu domande, non sono esauriente.
Provatemi.
Padre, io ho una missione e lo devo fare. Regan, io ti domande un'altra volta. Look, once more, Regan. Tell me why you want to see Shummer.
Regan works for me. Ask me the question.
All right, I ask you.
Not here. Down at headquarters, Lieutenant.
Headquarters? You want me to arrest him?
Regan found me in a room with a murdered man. That's enough to take me down for.
But All right, Father. I take you into custody.
And, Regan, you know what you have to do?
I know, Father.
Well, let's get busy.
Father?
Yes.
I've made 1,000 arrests in my day. I've taken them in for everything. You sure you want me to do this?
Like you said, we all have our jobs to do.
When he said that, he was looking right at me. And I began to get a helpless feeling, like a butterfly in a wind tunnel. Well, when we got downtown, Sanducci waved a hand at the prowl car and had the driver turn into the garage instead of going in the front way. Then he climbed out and talked to some uniform standing in the office. They came over and got Father Pettacini. As soon as they were out of sight, Sanducci turned to me.
All my life I've been a cop, Regan. All the time I play it one way. I ask and they talk.
If they don't, I lock them up till they do. Tonight, I played different.
You didn't ask any favors.
Those guys are taking him up to my office. No newspaper guys or anybody else is going to know he's in there.
Then what?
I won't ask him anything, and neither will anybody else around here. Right now.
What about tomorrow?
I'm off duty then. Before I leave, I have to ask him something.
He won't tell you.
This is homicide. Who's he covering for, Regan? He's counting on you to turn up something. You find what he wants, Regan. You find it fast, and you find it alone. You got 3 hours to do whatever it is. And the morning squad comes in. They like reports, and you can't stop reports. Now, Regan.
Yeah?
No falla manganza.
What does that mean?
Better not make a mistake.
Sanducci was bending over backwards to give me time. 3 hours to find Davy lying. That meant I had to forget the routine stuff and try other ways. I got to Melrose as fast as I could. It took her 5 minutes to answer the door. She didn't look happy.
What are you doing back here?
I forgot my homework.
Say, you can't.
I just did.
Why?
Now, look, lady, we can pass up the preliminaries, get to the main event.
You...
I want information. I want it fast. Where's Davy?
I don't know. I lost my head and told you too much when you were here before.
Where's Davy?
You're hurting my arm.
I'll break it if I have to. If you love him, tell me where he is.
I don't know. Really, I don't. It's just like I told you.
Come on.
All right. I was afraid.
Talk.
Davy told me he meant to throw that fight with Al Shummer Tuesday night. That he'd make a lot of money doing it. That we'd go away and get married, maybe. That's all I know.
That isn't enough. The odds were with Davy. He won.
Well, then ask Al Shummer what happened.
He's all used up. Somebody stuck a knife in him tonight.
What?
And homicide's holding the priest.
Father Petticini?
You know why?
I don't.
Because he thinks Davy Boy is still number one on the good parade. Now, you and I know different. Now, tell me the real setup.
I can't. I don't know.
Then I'll tell you. Davy was going to throw that fight. Then he found someone who'd pay him more to play it the other way. So we got together with Shummer. Shummer laid down on the fourth. Davy walked out on you and everybody.
Maybe he did. But he didn't kill Shummer.
I think he did. Shummer was going to talk.
Davy wouldn't kill a man. He's not bad.
I heard that before.
But he's not bad.
He didn't show up for you, did he?
No, but...
He double-crossed Petticini by fixing a fight. Then he doubled back, didn't throw the fight. He was probably trying to double on Shummer tonight when he stuffed that shiv in his ribs.
No, that's not Davy. Not Davy at all.
No, lady. No, that's not Davy. Of course not. Davy's a real good boy. Well, I thought I had most of it when I left there. You'd figured David got a bright idea somewhere along the line and bet on himself to win. That meant he had to make a deal with Al Shummer. Only Shummer wasn't around to talk about it anymore. I figured if I walked into the station and gave that much to Petticini, he'd let Homicide handle it from there. But I was wrong.
Regan, did you find him?
No.
Something's happened to him.
He's blown town.
I can't believe that.
Father, he was fixing a fight right under your nose.
Davy?
He was going to take a dive, but he didn't.
And Shummer, was he in on it?
Well, they must have tussled over the payoff.
What else?
Well, he's rattled on everybody he knows, including his girlfriend.
We haven't heard Davy's story.
He couldn't write one good enough.
Isn't it that late?
Father, you can call in Sanducci right now. You can tell him what I've told you.
They send out a pickup on Davy.
You'll have to sooner or later.
And what about the parole board?
He's broken that. Shummer's dead.
We don't know if he did that.
Who else?
It doesn't fit Davy.
All the rest of it does.
That can be cleared up.
You take a lot of convincing.
You're a detective, Regan. You always come up with facts. All I've got is faith.
In him?
I can't believe he'd kill a man.
I'll get Sanducci.
All right, Regan. All right.
Hey, Sergeant, You want...
Through, Regan?
Yeah. Where's Sanducci?
In his office. I'll call him for you. Okay, Mouthpiece. Right in there. Pardon me, please. Who the hell are these people?
Sure,
All right, that's Dr. Watch. Where is... Come on. Jack, up on mic, boy.
Who's the sergeant? Page 28.
Bottom of 27.
I'm sorry. Who's the
Let's get on mic. We're recording it,
Yeah.
huh?
Come on, let's go. Bottom of 27. Pardon me, please. Sure, Sarge.
Yeah?
Never mind calling.
Suit yourself, Regan.
What did Father Petticini send for a mouthpiece?
He didn't. The guy just showed up, said he was a lawyer and wanted to see him. Why? I don't know. All right to send him in, wasn't it?
I didn't answer that because the guy who'd passed me in the hall had his coat collar turned up. The glasses made it look good. But if he was a lawyer, he'd gone through law school in one day. I waited around outside. He wasn't in there long. 10 minutes later, he brushed out the door. I was waiting for him at the corner. Hello, Davy. How's murder these days? Easy, kid. This is a gun.
You're no cop.
I don't know what you told him in there, but I don't listen easy.
Oh. You must be Regan. You've been looking for me.
Yeah. You slip around fast.
That gun doesn't make you look that good.
I saw the guy with the shiv in him. You might have used the same line on him.
Father Petticini told me how you figured it. I can't blame you. I know it must have looked that way.
You got something different?
I'll tell it to you. I don't expect you to believe it.
Did he believe it?
About me fixing up the fight? That's right. I was going to lay down for $2,000.
But you didn't. Who offered you 4?
I deserve that. But you got it wrong.
Tell me how.
I was up there in the ring sparring with him. It was one of those crazy things. I wanted to make it look good, and, well, Shummer's got a glass jaw. One connected, and he went down for the count.
Sounds like a fairy tale.
I told you it wouldn't be easy. I had to run after the fight. Denton doesn't like things not to work out. When Shummer went down, the guy who was paying me lost a pile of dough.
Wait a minute. The guy who was paying you...
Toby Denton.
A guy with a scar.
Yeah. He's after me.
Yeah. Yeah, he sure is.
What's the matter?
Well, my arithmetic's lousy. When I added this thing up, I put you in, but I left the scar out.
What's that mean?
It figured you killed Shummer to stop him from talking.
I didn't. I can't prove it, but I didn't.
Well, whoever did called the Padre to come over there. The guy who killed Shummer wanted the Padre taken in.
Why? Why would he want...
Because he knew hooking the Padre was a sure way to smoke you out of hiding. It was all a setup to get you.
Toby Denton.
Yeah. Toby Denton.
You figured it smart, people, but you got there too late.
What? It was Denton. He was still wearing the blue suit and the scar. But this time he had help, a muscle in a trench coat. They were both carrying heavy artillery.
Been waiting 10 minutes for you two to finish up. French?
Yeah?
We'll just have to take Regan along with us.
All right, straight ahead.
Wait a minute, Toby. Regan had nothing to do with this. I'm the guy you want.
Don't worry, we'll take good care of him. Me and Regan met once, didn't we, Peeper? How do you feel, Regan?
Better than you will when they strap you down in that gas chamber, Tony. Toby.
You hear that, Trench?
Hey, come on, Toby, let's move.
We'll stay right here, Toby.
Move.
You know I can hardly handle myself. Gun butt wouldn't get me to. You'll have to shoot. There's a cop station half a block away. Leave Regan, I'll go with you.
I always wanted to plug somebody right outside a cop station.
The kid was fast. He went after Toby with all he had. I got busy with the tall guy in the trench coat. He wasn't fast, but he was big, and it kept me busy. I landed a lucky kick that turned him green in a second, and after that it was easy. I turned around to give the kid a hand, but I was a second too late.
Regan!
Davy took them both in his chest. That's when Toby spun around and tried for me, but this time it was too late. Lie still, kid. I'll get a doctor.
Regan, I've done everything wrong. I didn't want him to get you, too.
Don't talk. You made up for it all.
I'm not bad. All the way?
No. Like the Padre always said. You're a good boy. Well, the ambulance got him to emergency hospital, and they went to work on him. I waited around with Father Petticini all night until a nurse walked out, said that they were going to have to give Davy some transfusions, but he'd live. Then I got over to headquarters and explained the whole thing to Sanducci. He said it didn't make sense, but when I got Father Petticini on the phone, they talked it over in Italian, and Sanducci seemed satisfied. So it was about 10 in the morning when I dropped in on the Lion on the way home. He was stretched out on a couch in his office. It was sagging in the middle. So was the Lion.
Oh, Jeffrey, don't disturb me. I'm ill, Jeffrey, ill.
Now what's the matter with you?
Oh, it's that man Petticini. He's a fiend, Jeffrey. Man's got an uncanny power. It isn't that.
Wait a minute. Where did you see Petticini?
At the hospital, of course. I checked with headquarters and found out what had happened, so I just thought I'd go over there.
You mean you took his money after all?
Took his money? Are you being funny? I walked in, the first thing I knew, he'd Svengali'd me into the operating room.
The operating room?
Yeah, I'm a type O, Jeffrey. Me, the same blood type as Davy Lang. And you think you made this thing turn out right. Well, what are you grinning about? I don't see anything funny.
You wouldn't. But cheer up, Fatso.
Why? Why should I?
The hospital pays $25 for a pint of blood. You may get something out of this yet.
Okay, system.
CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Liggett & Myers, makers of Fatima cigarettes, is proud to bring you its prize-winning radio program, winner of the Motion Picture Herald Fame Award. The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned the homicide detail. 12 men drop completely from sight over a short period of time. There's evidence of foul play. 4 months pass. You finally locate the leading suspect in the case. Your job? Pick him up.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, October the 6th. It was sultry in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Freddie. We were on the way out from the office, and it was 10:45 a.m. when we got to Ortega Street, number 1285.
Second floor?
Yeah, room 14.
They all smell the same, don't they?
What's that?
Room and housing.
Oh, yeah. No, these are the odd numbers here. Must be down that way, huh?
Yeah, here it is. 14.
Yeah. Just a minute.
Taking his time.
Try it again, huh?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah? Police officers. Your name Henry Ross?
Get out of here. Get out of here.
All right, come on.
What is this? What do you want?
Ben.
Yeah, I got him.
What is this? You guys really cops?
Come on, get up.
No fooling. No fooling. You really cops? I thought you were faking.
We showed you our identification at the door.
I thought you were faking. That's the truth. There's a couple of guys out to mush me up. I thought you were them.
Is your name Henry Ross?
Yeah, that's right. I thought you were one of those moochers I had a fight with in the bar the other night. Said he was going to get a pal and come back here and take care of me.
Yeah?
Yeah. I got no reason to fight with cops. I didn't do my room any good. Landlady's sure going to scream.
All right, come on. You want to finish up dressing? I want to talk to you downtown.
What's it about, officer?
Missing person. We'll brief him when we get downtown.
Well, that's all right with me. Could you take these handcuffs off, please? It's kind of hard dressing with them.
All you have to do is put your shoes on. You can make out.
All right. I don't know why you had to slap handcuffs on me. I didn't know you were cops.
You mind if we check through your things, Rolf?
Huh? Why?
You mind?
Oh, go ahead if you want. I got nothing to hide. You know, if you'd spoke up at the door, there wouldn't have been a fight. I thought you were that mooch in the bar and his friend. I thought you were looking for trouble.
You about ready to go?
Yeah, I'd like to brush my teeth, though, if you don't mind. I got a real mouthful of cotton this morning.
All right, where do you keep your toothbrush?
It's over here. I'll get it.
No, I'll get it. Never mind. Get here?
Yeah, first shelf. It's in the glass.
Yeah,
Don't you trust me?
Here you go. Want some toothpaste?
Yeah.
All right. There you are.
Turn on the water tap, huh?
Hey. Nothing, Joe. It's pretty clean.
Of course I'm clean. What'd you expect? Anybody could have made the mistake. I didn't know you were cops.
Henry Ellsworth Ross. Is that your full name?
Yeah, that's right. I hardly ever use the Ellsworth, though. It's a real lousy name, huh? Well, what's the fitch on all this, officer?
We told you, missing person. Want to talk to you about it.
I don't think I can help you. Nobody I know is missing.
How about Paul Davis?
Davis? Yeah, I know Davis. I don't know if his name is Paul, though. Been gone a long time, huh, Miss Davis?
Yeah, that's right.
Something wrong, you think?
We figure murder. After going over his room thoroughly, we took Henry Ellsworth Ross back to the city hall to the interrogation room. He was a slightly built man, dark hair, brown eyes, swarthy complexion. He was a longshoreman by trade. Among his friends and acquaintances, he was known as a heavy drinker and a man with a violent temper. Ben and I questioned him for a half an hour and got nowhere. He sat across the table, relaxed, scraping at a thick callus on his hand with his fingernail.
I'll tell you the truth. I just don't know what you're getting at. I think I know a guy named Davis, and that's about as far as it goes.
Sure that's all you got to tell us?
Of course I'm sure. Now, look, I got a right to call a lawyer if you're going to sit there and throw a lot of charges at me.
We're not throwing charges at you, Henry. We've got a missing persons case. We'd like to have you cooperate. That's about it.
Well, maybe I'd like to, but I can't. Paul Davis is just a name to me. Maybe I know him. I don't know.
You got that report there, Ben?
Yeah, just a minute. Here you go.
Thanks. Well, here's the way it goes, Henry.
Yeah?
Now, according to his wife, Paul Davis left Los Angeles by auto a little over 4 months ago. He was driving up to Oakdale, California to take a job with a dairy company up there. He never got there. He's been missing ever since.
So? What's the pitch?
All we've been able to find is Davis's car, the 36 Ford Coupe, 7 Tom 792. It was sold a month ago up in Lodi, California. But Davis didn't sell it. A man by the name of Carter signed the pink slip at the time of the sale. Henry Carter.
Sorry. Don't mean anything to me.
Well, this Carter made it look like Paul Davis had signed the Ford over to him. We checked it out. Davis's signature was Ford's.
That's so? It's supposed to have something to do with me?
Did you ever use the name Henry Carter?
Of course not. Ross. That's the only name I go by.
Never had your name changed?
No.
Never used an alias?
I told you, no.
I wonder if you'd mind taking a look at this. Here you go, this here.
What's this got to do with me?
The pink slip to Paul Davis' car. See these signatures on the back here? Transfer of ownership. You recognize either one of them?
Paul Davis. Henry H. Carter. No? Doesn't mean anything to me. Is it supposed to?
It should, yeah.
Why?
The signatures are both in your handwriting.
How about it, Henry?
About what? I don't even know what you're talking about. You're trying to give me the treatment? What's this all about?
We're trying to locate Paul Davis.
I'm not even sure I know the guy.
I think you better level, Henry. Our handwriting man checked both the signatures. It's your writing.
Well, then maybe you better get a new handwriting man. I never saw that slip. I never wrote those signatures. Anybody can copy handwriting.
Well, I got something else for you, Ross. I'd like to have you check it over, see if you can identify it.
What is it?
It's a letter. Want to take a look here? That mean anything to you?
No, nothing. I hope you're not going to tell me this is my handwriting.
That's what the report says.
Oh, it's crazy. I never wrote like that in my life.
All the writing characteristics match up, same as the signatures on the pink slip.
All right, maybe they are the same. I didn't write either one. I never wrote like that in my life. Here, let me show you how I write.
No, that's all right, Henry. Ben, you want to pull the package tomorrow night?
Yeah, okay.
I don't savvy one bit of this, Sergeant. How about laying it out for me?
You can see the name at the bottom of the letter. It's signed Henry Carter, same as the pink slip.
Well, that doesn't mean anything to me.
Well, this letter was sent to the wife of Paul Davis about 9 weeks ago, and it says here that Davis supposedly was too busy to write his wife, so he had this Henry Carter send a letter. He also writes in here that Davis sold his car to Carter.
Somebody trying to cover up, huh?
Yeah, we think so. We think it's Henry Carter.
This Davis guy, he's been gone about 4 months?
That's right.
You said you thought Davis was murdered. How come?
Just an idea.
Oh.
8 men had disappeared from around here in the last 14 months, just like Davis. 6 more up in the San Joaquin Valley the same way. They took off alone on auto trips and never seen again. Not a trace.
Pretty funny.
Here you go, Joe. Thank you. You've got your record here, Henry, from Baton Rouge. Sent to Sheriff Clemens for it.
Huh? Look, do we have to drag all out again? It's past.
Just one thing we had to check, Henry. You told us that you never use an alias, is that right?
All right, I have. I didn't know what you're getting at. I didn't figure there's any use dragging out dirty laundry again.
I asked you if you ever used the name Henry Carter.
Okay, I've used it. It's a common name. There's a lot of Henry Carters around.
We only know one who fits your description.
I'm clean. You know that.
Want to smoke, Henry?
No.
You? Yeah, thanks.
Well, let me have one, will you?
Sure. Here you go.
Thanks.
We got a match here. You know, we rode this thing for 4 months. It's all over the state. Here. Thanks. I'll tell you what we got, Henry. We'll let you make up your own mind.
It's not my writing.
On June 4th, Paul Davis left Los Angeles in his car headed for Oakdale. Late in the afternoon, he stopped for gas at a service station just beyond San Fernando. The attendant says a man was with Davis. You fit that man's description, Henry.
Yeah? Well, I've seen monks like that in court. They get on the stand and can't even remember their own name.
A couple others. You and Davis stopped for a hamburger just outside of Gorman. There's a man there. He remembers you, too. You stopped again in Bakersfield. Picked up a quart of oil for the car. You and Davis had a Coke. The last time he was seen alive.
That makes me a killer, huh?
A month after that, the pink slip to Davis's car came through DMV up in Sacramento. That was for the transfer of ownership from Davis to Henry Carter, both in your handwriting. A couple of weeks later, Mrs. Davis got that letter. A month ago, Davis's car was sold to a dealer in Lodi.
Yeah.
We found the dealer, Ross. Showed him your mugshot. He says you sold him the car.
That all?
It's just the main part. There's more. We've been on the road a lot. We followed you from here to Sacramento and back, Henry. Every stop, every detour. It took us a long time.
Yeah, I guess it did.
What do you say, Ross?
Nothing.
Any way you want it, Henry.
You got another smoke?
Yeah? Yeah, here you are.
Thanks.
Here.
Yeah. I guess you worked hard on it, huh? All over the state.
That's right.
Must be pretty hot up in the valley summertime. Dusty, huh?
We made out.
I've never been up in the valley in summer. It's too hot for me.
We got people who saw you there.
What's it prove? 10 people and some writing samples. You can't build a case on that. You know it, don't you?
We're going to try.
You think I murdered Davis? You, Sergeant?
Yeah?
You think I murdered those other guys, too, huh? What was it, 10, 12 of them?
We're asking about Davis.
You think I killed him? Tell me the truth, do you? You think I murdered Davis?
Yeah, I think we did.
Uh-huh. Well, then you know as well as I do. There's only one way to prove it.
Yeah.
Find his body.
1:15 p.m. Ben and I took Henry Ross out and fed him some lunch. Then we took him back to the city hall to the interrogation room where we continued to question him. It was relaxed, and he talked a great deal about everything but the disappearance of Paul Davis. He didn't seem anxious to get away, made no demands for an attorney to represent him. For a full hour, he did most of the talking. He told us about the different homicide cases he'd read up on. He asked us about the 12 men who disappeared in the past months in the same manner Paul Davis had. Was there any trace of them at all? Did we have any leads? How did we think we were going to find them? Well, we finally got around to asking him if he'd submit to a lie detector test. He seemed taken by the idea and agreed to it almost immediately. Ben called Sergeant Berger and made arrangements for the test. We made up a list of key questions.
At 5 p.m., we took the suspect to the third floor of the old city jail where Sergeant Berger gave him the polygraph test. On the way back to the office, Ross complained he was hungry. We stopped and bought him coffee and donuts. We got back to the interrogation room a little after 6 p.m. The questioning continued. Ross didn't seem to mind at all. He kept talking. We let him talk. 8 p.m. He was still going strong.
You remember the Wilson case back in 34, don't you, Sergeant? Woman killed her whole family. Big case, you remember.
Yeah, it's pretty tragic. Is that a hobby of yours, Henry, collecting murder stories?
No, I just read them, remember. I guess I can remember every big murder case in the last 15 years.
That's so.
Yeah, it's about all of them. I guess it is kind of a hobby. I get a big kick out of it.
I get it, Ben. Excuse me, Henry.
Oh, sure.
Interrogation room, Friday. Oh, yeah, Berger. Mm-hmm. Yeah, how many? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You know, there's one thing I get a real big kick out of, those detective magazines. Mystery stories, the way they make out the murderer.
How do you mean?
You know, they always build it up into something big. Somebody's always killing somebody else for $1 million, or maybe over some woman, some beautiful woman. Same way with the movies. That's where they get it all mixed up.
I don't think I follow you, Henry.
Oh, sure you do. Every time some guy writes a murder story, he's got to build up a big reason for the killing. Mm-hmm. A lot of money, beautiful woman, revenge maybe. Always got to be a big reason. Motive, that's what they say.
Yeah, well, it generally works out that way, doesn't it?
Why? I bet you there's a 1,000 murder cases in your files without any reason at all. Some people kill, that's all. I've heard about lots of them. They just want to kill, and they go ahead and do it. Maybe for a few bucks, maybe for nothing. They just do it, that's all.
That's all.
Sure, you know that. Like this thing you've been talking about. 10, 12 guys disappear. They got a few bucks, maybe they got nothing. Somebody plows them under, and that's all. No big reason. They just do it. So 12 guys are gone. It doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm. That's how you got it figured out, Henry.
Huh?
The phone call a minute ago there was a man who gave you the lie detector test.
Oh, that right? How'd it go?
He just finished going over your graph. He got 16 positive reactions.
Yeah, what's that mean?
You lied, Henry, 16 times.
That's right. You better tell him to get a new machine. I lied all the way through.
Mind telling us why?
No, I don't mind. I guess I knew you'd find out. Let's go get something to eat first, though. I'm hungry.
No, we better talk a little more, Henry.
Well, let's go. I'll tell you why we're eating. Bring a pencil with you. I'll draw you a map.
Map of what?
The canyon, where I buried him.
You are listening to Dragnet for the step-by-step solution to tonight's authentic case history.
Here, step by step, are the actual reasons why Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette. Why in Fatima the difference is quality.
Quality of tobaccos. The finest domestic and Turkish varieties, extra mild and superbly blended to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, round, perfect cigarettes. Rolled in the finest paper money can buy. Manufactured in the newest and most modern of all cigarette factories.
Quality even to the appearance of the bright, clean, golden yellow package. Carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Insist on Fatima. Start enjoying the quality king-size cigarette. Fatima, best of all long cigarettes.
Wednesday, 9:55 p.m. Ben and I took Henry Ross across the street, bought him a Coke at Mac's place, and we took him next door to the Melbourne cafeteria. It was almost closing time. Ross got himself a cottage cheese and pineapple salad, bacon and liver with onions, rye bread, banana pie, and coffee. Ben had a hot beef sandwich, mashed potatoes, and coffee. I had the same. At the back of the cafeteria, one of the busboys was mopping the tile floor. It was a strong smell of disinfectant.
How about that table over there, Sergeant? Is that all right with you?
Yeah, it's okay. Doesn't make any difference. It's fine.
Yeah.
Want some water?
Yeah.
Henry?
Yeah, please.
All right, I'll get some.
Oh, boy, living onions. That sure smells great, huh?
Yeah. I can't take those onions so well. They repeat on me.
Not me. I can eat anything.
Salt and pepper?
Yeah, thanks. Boy, I'm sure hungry. I haven't eaten much today. Did you get a sandwich made with rye bread?
Graham bread.
Oh, you should have gotten the rye. Real German rye bread. Here. Smell that. Real nice and fresh. Here you go. Ben?
No, thanks.
Oh, thank you. You know, all that talk really sharpened up my appetite. Boy, this food tastes good.
Mm-hmm. Sugar, Joe? Yeah, thanks. We brought a pencil along, Henry. You want to start taking notes?
As good a time as any, I guess. You know, the whole thing just comes right back to what I was trying to tell you there in the office.
Yeah, what's that?
Well, you know, all about those phony mystery stories.
Oh, yeah.
Every time there's trouble, there's a big reason behind it. It's phony, that's all.
Yeah?
Sure, this Paul Davis, for instance. I guess I knew you'd find me out. I knew this morning when you picked me up, you had it figured. Must have been a big job, huh? Finding me?
Mm-hmm. Pretty big, Henry, you know. A lot of mileage. How'd it happen?
Well, there again. Just like I was saying. There's no big reason behind it. I needed a few bucks when Miss Davis came along. I guess he was it. Hey, pass me a ketchup, will you?
Oh, yeah. Here you are.
I'll get the lid off there.
There you go.
Thanks.
Where'd you meet Davis, Henry?
Oh, I was hitchhiking out in Ventura. Not a dime in my jeans. I was going up to Maricopa. I thought I had a job up there, and Miss Davis come along. Picked me up.
Mm-hmm. You ever know him before that?
No. A stranger. He said he's going to Oakdale. The guy give me a ride.
Go ahead.
Well, we stopped for gas at San Fernando, and I saw he had a few bucks in his wallet, and I guess that's when I got the idea.
About what?
Killing him. Now, maybe that gives you an idea what I was talking about. You don't need any big reason to kill somebody. Davis said, 18 bucks. Now, suppose I told that to a writer. Somebody killing the guy for 18 bucks. That wouldn't make much sense, huh? He'd tell you it'd never sell. You need $1 million, beautiful woman, good motive.
Yeah. Where'd you kill him, Henry?
Just outside of Bakersfield. Little canyon there. I got Davis to buy a fifth of sherry in Bakersfield. He drank some on the way. Hey, pass the salt, huh?
Yeah. There you are.
Thanks. Liver's no good without plenty of salt.
How'd you kill Davis, Henry?
Well, that's a funny thing. He drank some of the wine, got a little sleepy. I was just outside of Bakersfield. Dark by that time. I spotted this little canyon. I figured it's as good a place as any.
Well?
So I guess him pull out to a side road and had a few more drinks. I spotted this little shack out there in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly where was this, Henry?
Well, I can show you. It's maybe 2 miles north of Bakersfield. We got to the shack, finished the wine, went to sleep.
Both of you?
Mm-hmm. And that's where the funny part comes in. I guess I killed Davis, all right. But I didn't mean it. Oh, brother, get a whiff of that, huh? Why do these monks have to mop up while people are eating?
They'll be through in a minute, Henry.
Fine.
How'd you mean, Henry, you didn't mean to kill him? You already told us you had the idea.
Well, sure I had the idea. Let me explain, huh? We both went to sleep in the shack, Davis and me. Guess that must have been, about 9 o'clock at night. I don't know what it was. Maybe the wine, I guess, but I started having nightmares. Yeah, now maybe this part sounds like a story, but it's the truth. I had all these dreams. I woke up, but they're still there.
What was that?
Faces. Faces. That's all I could see. It was full of faces. I guess I was really still asleep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I picked up a 2x4 and started swinging at them, their faces. Funny thing, too, I knew every one of these faces.
How do you mean?
People I killed. There are only a dozen of them, really, but it seemed like there were 100 of them all around in the air. Well, I grabbed that 2x4 and I started swinging. I was cold and sweating all at the same time, and I kept on swinging. And I saw Davis's face, and I swung hard, kept swinging. Didn't even make a sound. His eyes closed, kept on swinging at his head. Well, I come to, there he was, lying on the floor. Seemed to take those other faces away. They didn't bother me after I killed Davis.
What'd you do with him, Henry?
Oh, pulled him outside the shack, dug a hole and buried him. Burned his clothes, took his car and money, and drove off. I'll show you if you like where I buried him, I mean.
How about these other men, Ross? These faces you saw?
Oh. What if I get a little more coffee? Huh? It's all gone.
I'll get it. Joe?
No, thanks. None for me. What about it, Ross? The other men?
Well, I don't recall them too well. It's what you said in the office. 10 or 12 of them. A couple in Sacramento, the others down through the valley. Like I say, there was no big reason for killing them. It just happened that way, that's all.
What'd you do with them, you remember?
Generally, yeah. There's one of them that stands out. Guy by the name of Slattery, some kind of salesman, a real crybaby.
Where'd this happen?
No, he picked me up in his car outside of Chowchilla. It's nighttime. He must be feeling pretty good. I made him stop on a side road. I hit him with a piece of angle iron. He cried like a baby. Buried him in a field there. It is one of the faces that I saw. That's funny, huh? It shows you how psychology works, huh?
Yeah, what'd you do with his car? Slattery's, I mean.
Drove it down to Mexico and sold it there. I guess that's what I should have done with Davis's car.
Oh, here you go.
Oh, thanks.
These killings of yours, you got any more you want to tell us about?
Well, I told you already. 10 or 12 of them. They're pretty much the same.
When was the first one?
Oh, maybe 18 months, 2 years ago. The first one wasn't any harder than the last. It's just like I was telling you before.
Yeah.
Everybody builds up murder. It's supposed to be a big thing, hard to do, all those phony stories. I'd just hit a guy a couple of times or something. That'd be it, a real small thing. Didn't change me any. That's why I say it's all built up.
You ever been treated for any mental sickness, Ross?
No, why?
You ever been examined by a psychiatrist?
No.
After you killed these men, did it bother you at all?
I just that wondering. The time I was with Davis. That's about it. Sure good meal, Sergeant. Thanks.
Yeah, okay. You ready, Ben?
Let's go. We go back upstairs, huh?
Yeah. Do you want to give us a statement?
All right. I had an idea you'd find me. I guess I always knew that you'd find me.
Well, let's go, then.
Guess I proved my point anyway, huh? It's all build up. Huh? Murder. Killing somebody. Those phony stories. It's all build up. It's cheap.
No, you got it wrong, Henry.
Huh?
Wait till they read you the bill.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On January 7th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 86, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. Friends, the makers of Fatima have done everything possible to produce the kind of cigarette you want, just as we on Dragnet try to bring you the kind of entertainment you want. In my honest opinion, Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes. But frankly, my opinion doesn't count because Fatimas must please you. That's why I suggest you buy a pack of Fatimas tomorrow, so you can prove to yourself that Fatimas are extra mild, with a rich, better flavor and aroma. You'll find Fatima now costs the same as other long cigarettes. And I'm convinced that you'll discover what I did. In Fatima, the difference is quality.
Henry Ellsworth Ross was tried and found guilty on 2 counts of murder in the first degree and received the death sentence. While he indicated that he had murdered the other 10 men, he refused to give any further information regarding the killings or what he had done with the bodies. Ross was executed in the lethal gas chamber at the State Penitentiary, San Quentin, California. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Now more excitement with Counter Spy on NBC.
Ladies and gentlemen, this program is for you, not for children. The story you're about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
Here it
Detective Sergeant. You're assigned to Juvenile Bureau. A worried mother calls your office and reports that her 4-year-old twin girls are missing. Hours pass. The children fail to turn up. Your job? Find them. You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes. You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality. You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest domestic and Turkish tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. So compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Saturday, August 7th. It was hot in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of Juvenile Bureau. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Inspector Bowen. My name's Freddie. It was 7:35 p.m. when we got to where we parked our car. 80K.
Let's see, your house is back that way, huh?
Yeah. You like to swing around here, huh?
No, I'm on that side.
Okay. Plenty of room here. No, you better wait a minute. Okay, it's all clear now.
I don't know about you. I think there's something sour about the whole thing.
Well, where do we check at the house? The kids might have turned up while we were gone.
I hope so. Should hate to go back there empty-handed. Not one lousy lead.
It's hard to figure. The little girls just wandered off. Somebody could have spotted them by this time.
Unless there was some kind of an accident.
What time is that?
20 minutes to 8.
5 hours. That's a long time for a pair of 4-year-olds to be out of sight, isn't it?
Parents are going to be worried sick when you tell them.
Let's get up the next block, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You might as well pull up right here, huh?
Yeah, that's good.
Let's go.
Lousy job. I'll put in with you. Oh, the officers, come in.
Thank you.
Have you heard anything?
No, sir, not too much, Mr. Carson. We just finished checking the neighborhood.
Somebody around must have seen the kids. Did you talk to everybody? We checked out all the names you gave us, eh? Everyone who knows your little girls, the kids they play with, their friends, parents, storekeepers in the area. But somebody had to see them. They got to be around someplace. Joan and Tilly got lost in that park. I know they would have headed up toward home.
What is it? The bandit?
No, we're still checking, Miss Carson. There's nothing much to tell you right now.
They've got somebody's got us seen. Tilly and Joan couldn't have wandered off that far.
I don't think it's as bad as it might seem to you, ma'am. Children have been missing a lot longer than your 2 little girls and turned up all right.
Just try to relax, Miss Carson.
Why wasn't somebody seen? They wandered out from us in the park, but it's only 3 blocks from your house. Why isn't somebody seen? Dark out. God knows what could have happened to them, you know?
Take it easy, honey. Don't start imagining things. I think it's just a matter of time, ma'am. We've got 3 teams of men working on it with us. Gotten out a broadcast on the little girl.
Did you talk to the Spaniards on the street in the Peterson?
Yes, ma'am, we did. We checked out all the names that you gave us. There is one thing we wanted to ask you about.
What's that, Sergeant?
Well, about the spot in the park where you had your picnic this afternoon, where the little girls wandered off from.
Exactly where I pointed it out to the other officers by the eucalyptus grove, right off 7th Avenue, just about 3:30 this afternoon. We finished lunch. Frank was taking a nap, and I was reading. I saw the girls playing tag over by the tree. I looked up in a few minutes, and they were gone. Just like I told the other officers.
Then you're sure about that location?
Of course I'm sure. Why should I lie to you? I want to find the girl. Please, Madam, please.
Come on, honey. Take it easy, huh? It's just never happened to us before, Sergeant. Joan and Tilly's never gone off like this. It's not like them, that's all. They're only babies, really.
Yes, sir. Would you like me to get that for you, Mr. Carson?
Yes, sir. Would you please?
Sure. Oh, hi, Wilkie.
Joe, anything?
No, not yet. You?
Want to step outside?
Sure.
Ralph and I checked with a guy who runs an ice cream wagon. He works the area in the park where the kids disappeared.
What did he tell you?
He saw a couple of little girls about a half a mile from that eucalyptus grove. About 3 o'clock this afternoon. They were with a man.
Yeah.
Says he saw the man put the kids in a truck and drove off with them.
8 p.m. Together with Tom Wilkie, Ben and I left the home of Mr. and Mrs. Frank Carson, the parents of the missing girls, without telling them about the latest report. Until it was positively confirmed, we felt that telling them would serve no purpose other than to worry them needlessly. The ice cream vendor, a Mr. George Comanche, who had reported seeing the 4-year-old girls, considered to drive out with us to the park area where he spotted the children in the company of an unidentified man.
I was right over there, officers. This big guy, mustache, he had the little girls, one on each hand. He was walking them out of that clump of trees over there. Think you can describe the man for us, Mr. Comanche? I didn't look that close. I thought he was the father. The kids were sniffling, you know. Maybe like they'd been crying.
I better check the ground over there by the trees, huh, Wilkie?
Yeah, sure.
Stan, Ralph, want to give a look over here? Didn't you notice anything at all about this man, Mr. Comanche? I mean, other than his mustache?
Well, big man, big shoulders, regular truck driver, you know. Work shoes, blue shirt, blue pants, jeans, I guess.
Mm-hmm. How about the color of his hair? Some kind of distinguishing marks, maybe?
No, I don't know. I thought he was the father. The kids were sniffling, the little girls. Was anything wrong? It didn't look like it.
Well, how about this man's truck? Did you notice that?
No, I didn't. I was busy with the freezer motor then. Gives me lots of trouble all the time.
What about the license number? Did you happen to look at that?
Maybe I should have looked. I didn't. Bag of peanuts, officers? Warm, nice and fresh.
Thanks. There you are.
Why don't you eat them while they're warm? Good.
No, I saved them for my boy. He's crazy for peanuts.
Go, Stan?
Excuse us, Mr. Clancy.
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, Wilson?
Stan found these over in the bushes by the tree there.
Let me see.
Little girl's petticoat. Little girl's dress. Ripped to pieces.
8:24 p.m. The area where the torn clothing was found was roped off and checked for footprints and other physical evidence. None was found. Homicide detail was notified and joined in the investigation. The torn petticoat and dress were taken down to Lee Jones at the crime lab for examination. Then they were shown to the father of the missing children, Frank Carson. He definitely identified them. The search for the 4-year-old twins, Joan and Tilly, was intensified. An emergency spot check was made of all known and registered sexual psychopaths. From the hundreds of names, the staff's office came up with one that might possibly tie in. He was listed as G.H.L. Gramberg. His address was at the end of 7th Avenue, close to the park area where the Carson twins had disappeared. On his mama sheet, Gramberg was described as tall, well-built, dark hair with a mustache. We found him at his work, a small bar out in the Wilshire district. He was the organist there.
Yeah, that's right. I live on 7th Avenue, right across from the park. What's the matter this time? Missing juvenile. Can you account for your time between noon and 6 o'clock from that, Gramberg?
I don't know if I can or not. I don't keep a daily log, you know. They didn't tell me how to do that.
Well, tell us where you were between noon and 6 tonight. That's all we want to know.
That's quite a bit, don't you think? Suppose I told you I was playing canasta with a maiden aunt. Would that shock you?
Look, we're not in the mood for smart answers. You just give us an alibi we can check, that's all.
I don't know why you always have to bother me when something happens.
You made your own reputation. You didn't.
Now, what about it? I left my apartment about 11:30 this morning. I went down to Union Hall and paid my dues. Had lunch with some friends. A blue pigeon on Murkoff.
Then we went on a tour of one of the studios. All right. So your friends confirmed that story for you? No, they won't. They left town tonight. The 8:15 train to San Francisco. Oh, yes, Mr. Sheldon?
A special friend of mine from up north, Graham, wants to hear Indian Love call, okay?
Certainly, Mr. Sheldon, right away. What about it, Graham Burns? Who's vouching for your alibi? Already told you. My friends left town. You can check with a guard at the movie studio if you want. We had a pass. Time punched in, time punched out. It should be all there.
You want to call and check that studio?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't mean to be rude, Sergeant. I always did feel that registration business is unfair.
Oh, that's so?
Of course. Grossly unfair.
So how do you suggest we keep track of you?
Why do I have to be kept track of anyway?
You know as well as I do your record.
It was all a lie. I hardly even touched the kid. I paid my time anyway. Why can't you give me a break? Every time something happens to a kid, I have a cop on my name.
Were you in the 7th Avenue Park at any time today, Gambler?
What?
Were you in the 7th Avenue Park today?
As a matter of fact, I was, yeah. I took a walk there.
What time was that?
I don't know. I left my friends after lunch. Came home to freshen up about 1:30, I guess. I was in the park about 1:45, 2 o'clock. Only stayed a few minutes.
When did you leave?
About 2:15.
You went from the park to meet your friends at the studio?
Exactly right, yes.
Did you see 2 dark-haired little girls while you were in the park?
No, I didn't see anybody. I was by myself.
Mm-hmm. You sure of that?
Well, of course I'm sure. If I did see him, it wouldn't mean anything. I don't molest kids. I don't get along with them, that's all.
Another one, Graham. I wonder if you'd mind playing Diane. Anniversary party, you know.
All right.
Thanks, sir.
What I was saying, Sergeant, it's the truth. I couldn't hurt a little kid. I never could.
No one said you have.
Well, I know, but I just want to know how I feel. Maybe I don't get along with kids, but I couldn't hurt them. Little girls especially. I like kids, really. I just don't understand how I like them. It's a real strange thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Joe, can I see?
Did you talk to the studio?
Yeah, I checked with the guard.
What did he say?
Bamberg was there from 2:30 to 4:30.
You double-checked the time?
Yeah. His alibi is good.
10:55 p.m. The 4-year-old Carson girls were still missing. A special detail of men from homicide were assigned to a general canvass of stores and homes in the park area. All the residents were questioned. No one had seen the children. 11:20 p.m. We headed back to the Carston home.
I'm all out of smokes, Joe. You got some?
No, I'm out, too. The drugstore up ahead. I guess we can get some there, huh?
That car in front of it. That's Rookie and Bates' car, isn't it?
Let's see. Yeah. Oh, here's Rookie coming out of the drugstore. Hey, Will?
No, Joe. Just talked to the office.
Anything new?
They got a call from the Valley Station a few minutes ago.
Yeah?
The little girls. They've been found.
You are listening to Dragnet for the step-by-step solution to tonight's authentic case history. Here, step by step, are the actual reasons why Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette. Why in Fatima the difference is quality. Quality of tobaccos. The finest domestic and Turkish varieties, extra mild and superbly blended to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma. Quality of manufacture. Smooth, round, perfect cigarettes. Rolled in the finest paper money can buy. Manufactured in the newest and most modern of all cigarette factories. Quality even to the appearance of the bright, clean, golden yellow package. Carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor. Compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Insist on Fatima. Start enjoying the quality king-size cigarette. Fatima. Best of all long cigarettes.
11:25 p.m. As soon as we got the word that the 4-year-old Carson twins had been found, Ben and I drove back to the office where Inspector Bowling filled us in.
A few minutes past 11 p.m., a motorist out in the valley spotted the two small girls walking hand in hand along a deserted side road off Ventura Boulevard. Their clothing was dirty and torn. They were alone. The motorist picked them up, took them to the Valley Division station where the girls were identified. He sent out a partial cancellation on the APB. The twin girls were taken to the Georgia Street Receiving Hospital where they were treated for cuts and bruises. Then they were returned to their home. The doctor reported that both girls had been criminally molested. The search for the abductor went on. Late the next day, Ben and I drove out to the Carson home to talk to the twins, Joan and Tilly. We had no luck at all. They were still shaken up from the excitement and shock of their experience. We went back to the living room with their mother, Helen Carson.
It was the same thing this morning when I tried to question them. They just don't want to talk about it. It must have been horrible for us.
Did they tell you anything at all, Mrs. Carson?
Well, Joan just refuses to talk about it. She says the man was big. That's all I could get out of her. Tilly seems a little more willing to talk, though. She's always been a little more forward than Joan ever since they were babies.
I see. Well, could she add anything at all to what your other little girl told you about the man?
She told her father the man had a mustache. Probably impressed her because my husband wears one, too.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty certain she's right about that. I can usually tell when she's making up things.
Well, how about the way the man was dressed, his clothes?
No, they didn't mention anything in particular. Tilly told me the man was dirty. She said it 2 or 3 times. Dirty clothes. She might have meant the man had work clothes on. There's so many expressions, I don't know.
Well, how did the man get your little girls into the truck? Did he offer them candy or something like that?
Well, Tilly said something about a kitten. The man had a little kitten, and he was going to give it to them. I told him about that once. I told him 1,000 times, stay away from strangers. Don't go with them.
Yes, ma'am. Did they tell you anything else at all about the man's description?
Mm-hmm. Tilly said the man was big. I don't know if you could count on that. Everybody looks big to her. I talked to her an hour, but she just kept repeating the same story. The man made them cry, tore their dresses, hurt them. Just horrible for them.
Yes, ma'am. Did he tell you anything at all about the truck the man was driving? Maybe the color or something like that?
Well, Tilly called it a big car. Funny big car. She said it was red with red pictures all over it. You can't put much faith in that, though.
Fair enough, ma'am.
Well, everything's red to Tilly now. Everything has red pictures on it. Just the phase she's going through. A few weeks ago it was blue. Everything was blue to her. Now it's red. Everything's red.
I see. Well, you think they might be able to tell you a little more in a day or so after they've quieted down?
Well, I don't know. I certainly hope so. Thank God it's all over. Their home's safe. That's all that counts.
Oh, ma'am, I'm afraid there's more to it than that.
What?
The man that did it's still free. Monday, August 9th. The search for the suspect went on. All of us, the men from juvenile and homicide detail, were pretty much feeling our way in the dark. Repeated questioning of residents living in the area where the abduction took place netted us nothing. Our 2-star witnesses, the 4-year-old twins, were able to contribute little. We stayed on it. Another 3 days of pounding the pavement, knocking on doors, and asking stock questions led nowhere. As in most cases like this one, the criminal enjoyed the distinct advantage of having victims who were unable, because of their age, to clearly identify him. Tuesday, August 10th. In the late afternoon, we got a call from a Bernice Hopper, a real estate agent in the West Hollywood area. 4:15 p.m. Ben and I drove out to interview her.
Excuse me, officer. I just got to find that listing book first.
Go right ahead, Miss Howard.
I just know it's got to be here someplace. Well, yesterday morning, I remember distinct... Oh, here it is. Yeah. Now I can start to do business again. Well, I don't know if this is going to help you any in your case, officers, but I certainly think something should be done about it. Flagrant. That's the only word I can think of, just flagrant.
Well, would you like to tell us about it, ma'am?
Well, I saw him yesterday, for one thing. So I was coming back from lunch about 2:30 in the afternoon. Mondays I always have late lunch.
Yes, I see.
I was passing the corner a few blocks from the grammar school right up above on Prospect Avenue, and I saw this truck parked and this truck driver leaning out of the window talking to some children. Just tops they were. Just tops.
Yes, ma'am. What happened?
Well, what happened? It's not so much that. It's just the way this truck driver was talking to these children. I must have been at least 20 feet from them, and even I could hear.
What was that, ma'am?
He was language. Just filthy. I couldn't understand a grown man talking to little tots like that. Every kind of filth, every obscene word you think of. Flagrant, just flagrant.
Was there any point in the way he was talking to the children, Miss Harper? I mean, was he mad at them? Did he seem sober? What was it?
Filth, that's all I know of. He was dirt and filth. When the children didn't like it, and he told them. I only made him do it all the more. I really think you ought to check up on him.
Yes, ma'am. Well, can you tell us anything else about it?
Oh, will you excuse me?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
How do you do? My name's Miss Hopper. May I help you?
How do you do? I'm Arthur Tomlinson. You showed me and the wife's place last weekend.
Oh, yes, of course, Miss Thompson. The cottage out on Norwich, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. The wife and I certainly didn't like it. She wants me to put a deposit on it. 12%, I guess.
Well, no, as a matter of fact, I sold it Monday. It's just like I told you, things go fast. Of course, you had a substantial down payment to make at the time.
Oh, yeah, it did take me a few days to get some money together. It's too bad. Well, we certainly love the place. Well, it's too bad, I guess.
Oh, I'm very sorry, Mr. Thomason. There wasn't anything I can do.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Well, thanks anyway, ma'am. I guess we'll keep looking. Something may turn up.
Oh, I'm sure it will. Thanks for stopping by again, Mr. Thomason.
Yeah. Bye.
Oh, my. Everybody wants something for nothing. They want houses, but they don't show the money. What was it?
The truck driver that you saw now?
Oh, yeah. Well, after hearing that talk of his, I just copied down the license number of the truck I got right here in my desk.
How about the truck driver, ma'am? Did you get a good look at him?
I certainly did. The way he acted with those children.
Anything unusual about his appearance?
No, nothing besides his foul mouth. He was tall, dark, had a mustache.
Try again.
One more thing. The truck he was driving.
Yes, ma'am.
There were pictures painted on the side. Circus animals, I think.
Did you notice the color?
Oh, yes. It was red. Even the pictures are red.
4:45 p.m. We took the license number of the truck which Bernice Hopper had given us and drove back to the office and checked it through DMV. We found the truck was registered to a commercial baking firm in the south end of town. Through their personnel department and their dispatcher's office, we got the name and address of the employee who was driving the truck the same day Bernice Hopper had spotted the driver talking to the school children. His name was Lester Wiley. We checked a little further, found that he was driving the same truck the day the Karsten twins were abducted. We called into R&I. Wiley had no criminal record. 6:30 p.m. We located the suspect at his home, an old-style green and white bungalow on the edge of the Highland Park district. He sat in the dining room and drank some kind of sweet wine from a large water glass while we questioned him.
That's just stupid of me, huh? I didn't even ask if you wanted some of this.
No, thank you, Wiley. I'd like to have you explain about your language in front of those school kids.
Nothing to explain. Bunch of those kids are hanging around the truck. Or maybe they wanted to get in and grab some of the cakes and stuff. I read them off, that's all.
Yeah, it still doesn't explain the filthy language, Wiley.
I don't know. Maybe I wasn't feeling good that day. Might have let a few cuss words slip. I didn't mean anything by it. I like kids.
Do you usually make deliveries up around that school area, Wiley?
Once in a while, yeah. I get around quite a bit.
That's not what they tell us down where you were.
Huh?
You had no business in the neighborhood of that school. You deliver lots on the other end of town.
So I can't drive where I want, huh? I get the deliveries made. What are they squawking about?
I'd like to know what you were doing up in that neighborhood.
I was on my lunch hour. Drove up to see a friend. I got a friend living near the school. What's the matter anyway?
Don't you think you've had enough of this?
Look, you're not telling me what I have to do in my house. It's my house. I want a glass of wine, I have it. You're not telling me what to do.
All right, Wiley, just take it easy.
Take it easy, nothing. I talked to you too long enough. There's the door. You're not coming in here telling me what to do.
You better get your coat. We'll talk downtown.
We're not talking any place. Now get out. Get out of this house right now.
Afraid your alibi's not going to hold up, Wiley? Ready?
I don't know what you're talking about. You're trying to frame me. Don't you think I know that?
That doesn't make much sense. Why should we want to frame you?
I know what you're getting at. Well, just what you're getting at. Those two little girls last week, you're going to say I took them. You're going to say I did things to them. Well, I didn't. It had anything to do with it.
Didn't you?
Oh, no. No, I didn't. Oh, look, I'm sorry. Why don't you sit down? I didn't mean what I said, because I just got nervous.
Sure, Wiley, we understand.
Why don't you let me get a couple of glasses, huh?
Have some of this wine. Warms you up. Good.
No, thank you. Just like to have you straighten us out on a couple of things, and we'll let you alone.
Yeah?
I'd like to know if you can account for your time between 12 noon and 11 p.m. last Saturday.
That's the day somebody picked up those two little girls, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Why?
I don't know. I was making deliveries like I always do.
Up to 11 o'clock at night?
I was a little late, yeah. Nothing unusual, though.
That's so?
The only working day, so. That's good wine. I might have been near the park where those kids were. Doesn't mean anything, though. I get around quite a bit. A lot of deliveries to make.
All right, come on. How about it, Wiley? Did you grab those two little girls?
Watch it, Joe.
All right, mister, that's enough. Get out of my house. Get out of my house. All right, Ben, get him on him.
Yeah. All right. You never prove it, you know that.
What about it, Wiley?
What's the use? No good at all.
You want to tell us about it?
I didn't mean it, that's all. Didn't mean it. Just once in a while, something goes wrong with me. I like kids. Like them too much, I guess. I don't mean to hurt him.
You ready to go now?
Anything you say. Thought I had it with me when I grabbed the kids.
What?
Thought it was in my coat pocket. Glad I lost it.
Glad you lost what?
The pocket knife. I was going to kill him.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On December 10th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 87, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. Friends, as you might have heard me say before, on Dragnet, we try to present the kind of entertainment that you want. You're the boss. We feel the same way about Fatimas. If you like them, you'll smoke them. It's just that simple. As for me, I like them. But what's more important, I'm convinced that you will, too. Fatimas have a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. So I suggest that you buy a pack of Fatimas and see for yourself. When you do, I'm sure you'll agree with me and thousands of other regular Fatima smokers. In Fatima, the difference is quality.
Lester Wiley waived his rights to a preliminary hearing. And at his arraignment in Superior Court, he entered a plea of guilty to 1 count of kidnapping and 1 count of child molesting. He received the sentence as prescribed by law and is now serving his term in the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Now there's more exciting listening with Counter Spy on NBC.